How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the TimcastIRL podcast. For some reason, YouTube is still broken, but whatever. We're doing a show. My name is Tim Pool. I'm hanging out with the same old people.
You know, we're not old people, but we are the same people. Anyway, hey, everybody. It's Adam here. How you doing?
Yes, we are.
What up?
And me. I got my cool new t-shirt.
Look at that shirt.
It says Harumph-I-Say.
What could that shirt
Fantastic.
possibly be?
I don't know.
That shirt is
Steve's
dope.
face.
If y'all want a Harumph-I-Say t-shirt,
It's dope.
it is in the description. Just click it, and it goes to the store. And there's like a beanie shirt, but there's the Harumph-I-Say shirt.
Yeah.
And we're close to getting an Adam shirt.
Yep. And a Lydia shirt.
And the Lydia shirt.
We're gonna do it. We're getting it.
But here's the big news. We are going to get a premium special access product.
Ooh.
Custom. Only, I don't want to say too much, but it should be directly through the YouTube store. And we will be the only channel with access to this specific product.
Wow.
Yeah, this is crazy.
I love that.
So it's going to be awesome. And it's going to be beanies. Specific beanies. So welcome to the show. We're talking about the lockdown is over. It's almost over.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say almost. I'll believe it when I can walk outside and go bowling.
Fauci said it.
I want to go bowling.
Yeah.
Fauci said it.
Lydia, you know you want to go bowling.
Yeah, I definitely do. It's
Yep.
true.
Mm-hmm.
Fauci said it. We done.
So that means because he's kind of like the main doctor in charge of all this, right? Even though he's always a little bit behind on everything.
I think because
A little bit, yeah.
there's been like pushback, right? Fauci is the doctor saying we can't do this, and then Trump is like with the economy. So then the left has just been like, Trump is wrong, Fauci is right.
Yeah.
Well, now Fauci's come out and he's like, we're facing irreparable damage if we stay locked down too long, and I'm absolutely in favor of opening if it's done appropriately. Boom. We also have a study that came out showing that states that locked down actually did much worse.
Huh. What a surprise.
Unsurprising. Well, I mean, I would say early on that would be surprising. It'd be like, wow, I didn't realize that. But hindsight is 2020, you know.
That's it.
And then, Joe Biden, because he's Joe Biden.
Do we have to talk about Joe Biden?
Well, because he said, black people weren't black if they voted for Trump.
That is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
So Trump is now selling "You Ain't Black" shirts.
Hashtag you ain't black.
Dude, this is the big difference between the two campaigns.
Believe it.
Trump doesn't care.
You know what?
It's
I can't
funny.
believe more than that, though? The amount of people that are coming out in defense of that statement. Like, how are you defending it? What?
Yeah, I don't know how you defend that. That's pretty
Well,
amazing.
look.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, man, I can't speak on behalf of anyone but myself.
Okay.
So if there's a community of people that took issue with it, and a lot of people did,
Yeah.
even lefty, so obviously there were conservatives who were mad.
Mm-hmm.
Then there were a lot of people in the black community who were mad. Mm-hmm. But then I saw some progressive people in the black community who were mad, and that was not surprising to me at all, because they don't like Joe Biden.
They're like,
Everybody
vote blue no matter. Wait,
Wait
what
a
did you
second.
What did you say?
No, these aren't the vote blue no matter who.
No, I know. I'm just making a joke.
The progressives and dude, this has been crazy. Like when I turn on Glenn Greenwald, progressive,
Okay.
seeing him go after defend Michael Flynn, like wow, he rags on the national security state, surveillance state. He hates Trump, but the truth is the truth.
Yeah.
So when you go to these establishment vote blue no matter who people, they're like, these are the worst of the worst. But I think they're a dying breed.
Excuse me.
Yeah, dying breed. And we got some fun sci-fi stories. Maybe we'll get to it if we do.
Sci-fi stories?
Well,
Love
creepy
sci-fi
ones.
stories.
Oh, that's fine.
The
It's still
contact-
sci-fi, right?
The contact tracing app that got released in North Dakota is like basically monetizing and selling your data and
Oh,
stuff.
like dystopia sci-fi.
Yes,
Great.
not the fun, not the
Wonderful,
fun.
like real
Great.
life.
I
Yeah, the
feel like
worst stuff.
I feel like we've been living in that
Yeah.
for months now.
I'm over
so
it.
We got
Great.
a free trial to Brave New World, to Fahrenheit 451, to communism. It's like wow, we got a little sample of everything.
Yeah, all
Didn't
right.
want that.
Can't say life isn't boring. So if you were just tuning in, make sure you smash that like button.
Oh, I didn't yet.
Oh wait,
Smash
let me do
it.
that. Yeah.
Smashed it.
Smash it.
Lightly tap it and just give your mouse
Just
a little
one time.
doot, and then
Yeah.
boop, and then the
No,
thumb
that's
lights
what you
up.
do to the share button.
Oh.
Lightly
Yeah.
doot the share
Smash
button.
the like button, lightly tap the share
I don't know if
button.
the share button does anything. Just take the URL and plop it somewhere. But
Sure.
also, if you'd like to super chat, so here's basically what happens. We get you get your super chats in. It usually has to do with the first hour of the couple segments we do, and we do try to read as many as we can. But basically, first come, first serve, just because we read the first super chats first, and then eventually we get to a point where the super chats come in too quick. So if you end up getting in late, then we sometimes have to skip through, and so I apologize to everybody if we missed your super chats.
We're just getting so much love from you guys.
It
It's
is
so much love.
And very few podcasts actually do dedicated segments to full-on super chat.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of them just be like, we'll pull select comments, and then people will super chat, and then a producer will pull like 4 questions, and they'll ignore like the 300.
You glad I don't do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Better this way.
and without calling anybody out, there's some podcasts just disable it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
So-
the way we do it.
Yeah, we kind of, but I think it's the point of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like-
yeah. We get to actually interact with people, and that's amazing. I love that.
Well, then people often have good questions that lead to, like, we did a segment the other day about, Adam brought up the story when we lived in Miami and someone hopped the fence into our property
Right.
and was snooping around our barn with a flashlight.
Oh yeah, someone asked us about
Home defense.
if we believe in guns and having them and why, and it's like, yes, of course we do. Here's
and then
here's a actual story that we had. Yeah,
It's interesting too.
yeah,
I mean,
it's a good
because
one.
we didn't even actually have guns.
Right.
We had a pellet air rifle compression rifle.
yeah.
It was a good one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was fun.
This is a Remington,
Yeah. Yeah.
like a legitimate
Man. And
air rifle.
I'll tell you what, man. I had a friend come over once, and I had it safety on and everything.
Okay.
And just keep it vague. This person thought it'd be funny to crack it and then point it at me because it was just a pellet gun, right? And I flipped out. Okay, I was like, dude, you are never allowed to touch anything. Like, you're never coming here again.
Wow.
Like, dude, you don't understand. And she was like 10 feet away from me, thinking it was
Oh my
hilarious.
goodness,
That
10
is
feet
no
away.
joke.
Like, she thought it was a BB, like an air pellet gun or something.
No.
And I'm like, dude, those
Still not okay.
kill.
Yeah, those are like squirrel killers.
Yeah, man.
Rabbit
That would
killers.
have been messed up. Like,
Respect
and yeah,
it.
we didn't. No, she certainly didn't.
No.
People are dumb, man, and
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest challenges.
They're out there.
When you see a lot of people who are like very much adamant for gun control, it's because they know they're the dumb ones who can't. I don't mean to say dumb as in like that's like they're ignorant is a better word.
Okay.
It's like when
that's a better word. Yeah.
When I was in Egypt, all you gun people are gonna love this. I had to go into the state building for certified press credentials because like in Egypt they don't have free press.
Yeah.
And the soldiers standing in front of the building are holding their guns like this. And so when I walked past to walk in, I'm like going like this and like limboing.
You
Yeah.
don't want to be anywhere near
I
the end
don't
of that
want
gun.
there to be a direct line from the barrel of that, rifle to my
Right.
head.
Yeah.
So I limboed. They don't do that here.
Just dodging.
Here
dodging.
it's down.
they do
Yeah,
it?
down
You
to
know,
the ground. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trigger discipline, muzzle to the ground. Not in these other places, man.
crazy. I don't like
You gotta walk
that.
past them, and it's like, no, thank you.
They're like, well, but we have to show off our guns.
No,
Is that what it's
they're
about?
just
I mean,
untrained.
maybe,
They
yeah.
don't. They
nuts.
bad training. Bad training. And so, what do you think happens when you take some of these city folk that don't know anything about it and don't respect it?
Yeah, they hold the gun like this.
Dude, do you see?
And with their finger on the trigger at all times too. It's like
There was a
come on.
There was a viral video on Reddit where some woman was at a range,
Mm-hmm.
and then she like fires, and then she just turns, and then a bunch of dudes basically tackle her.
Yeah.
Like not to the ground, but they swarm her, grab her, pull her arm up,
Yeah.
and then they kick her out.
Seriously.
Yeah, you don't.
Yup.
That's crazy.
Turning
Do
in a
not
range.
mess around
she
with
was just
that.
like, oh, I
with
did it.
live
And she
with
turns.
live bullets in the gun
Yes.
still.
Yup. At a
Oh my
range.
gosh.
gosh.
Dude, everyone, there was like men and women running to her, grabbing her, putting her arm up, like, oh,
Yeah.
what are you
So-
doing?
Wow.
My dad taught us about guns, and when we were learning about guns, he was like, I will give you $1 if you ever see the end of this muzzle. If you ever see the end, if you see the hole where the bullet comes out, you get $1 from me. And if I ever see it on you, you're never shooting again. And I was like, okay, that's fair. And it never happened. Like I never
Yeah.
had to pay him $1, and or he never had to pay me $1, and I was not revoked from shooting.
What was the first gun you ever shot, Lydia?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't remember what I shot. My dad started this out small. I couldn't even tell you what he owned, but my left eye is weaker than my right eye, so I learned to shoot wonky. Like I shot with my other hand. It was strange, but it worked well.
Okay.
And we had a little shooting range in our barn. It was good times.
Cool.
Yeah, so I kind of learned.
Word.
So this is actually, people are going to like this. When I was covering the Ferguson riots,
Yeah.
we actually went to a range because there was something, there was an interesting principle that me and these other journalists had. It was, if we're going to report on gun use and you haven't ever used a gun or talked to an expert, you shouldn't be doing it.
No right to
Dope.
do that.
So we were
that
like,
sounds legit.
so we
Yeah.
went to the range and we got a basic opening pointer on like explaining everything. And I got to fire a few rounds. I was I forgot what they said. It's like I had good precision but bad accuracy. Like I was able to
Right.
hit the target in the junk
Yeah.
consistently, but I
that's
was
not where you were
but
aiming
I was
for.
aiming for the head. Right. So he was like, but what he told me was that I think like when I was pulling my hand forward, so it was
down.
going
Drop
down.
in the barrel, yeah.
But I was like, how can I even possibly consider reporting on what would it be like to be holding a weapon, have someone, fighting with you or whatever, if I've never even experienced it, asked about it, talked to an expert. But then I did an interview with somebody in Jersey. He was a trainer, or a police firearms expert and trains people. And we got to go through a full course where they went from like 22 and I got to fire like 5 different handguns.
Cool.
I can't remember what the last one was, but it was huge, it was heavy, and it was powerful.
Was it a Magnum?
No, I can't remember what it was.
Desert Eagle?
But like the one that the first one they had me use, it felt almost like a cap gun.
Like a 22 little.
It was a 22
shooter.
and it was like, it was ridiculously easy to shoot.
Yeah.
And that's what they explained. They were like, we're not going to start you off on the bigger guns. You get used to it, and it really did work out that way. I was like, oh wow. As I worked my way up, but I've only ever gone twice.
Word.
So
We got to go. Let's do that after we get out of lockdown.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
It's gonna be so fun.
Right before we all got locked down, I found a lot of different gun ranges around us. There's many around us.
Oh yeah, totally.
So fun.
But there's not that many that actually allow arrow shooting. But I find a couple.
An arrow range.
An arrow range. Yeah.
I
Or
think
bow.
that's more
Yeah.
fun.
Shooting bows. Yeah.
I want to go to a bow range.
Yeah, I want to do axe throwing too.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Axe throw. We can actually set up axe throwing outside.
I
probably.
know. We should
Why-
practice
what
all
are we
weapons
waiting
we
for?
have. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Because we have to buy axes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, whatever.
And
Come on,
your point
we can do
being-
it.
Yeah.
Wait, you got a kiln.
I do.
I know how to use that. We
You wanna
can
make one?
We can actually make our own.
And
my gosh.
what you need to
Let's do
also
it.
get,
Big
you need
project.
to get a bear skin loincloth and leather straps to hold the axes.
Yes, of course.
'Cause I'm telling you, hold on. When someone breaks in that front door, they might be expecting to see some dude with like a home defense weapon.
Yeah.
But when they say
Pajamas.
you running down the stairs in a bear cloth,
wearing nothing but a
with
loincloth.
2 axes, and you're like, "Wah!"
With my hair all wild.
Yes.
They're gonna be like, oh.
Oh, what an image.
This is not what they expected.
Yeah.
And yet another image that we would like some fan art.
There you go.
Please. I guess me in a loincloth,
Oh,
running
no.
at you with 2 axes, blood crazed look on my face.
Hair crazy. Yes.
All right.
Yes,
Hair
please.
crazy.
That should be fun.
Let's do it.
This is what you get,
It's gonna be awesome.
trespasser. Yeah.
You poor fool.
So
wow.
now that we're adequately laughing at absurdities, should we?
Yeah, let's get into this story.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I'm stoked about it. This is great news, I think.
Oh man. Okay.
I'm
For free.
hoping that so now we see this. This is a story from the Hill. Fauci totally in favor of reopening country if done in an appropriate way, not in an inappropriate way. No, if it's done appropriately, he's saying we can reopen. This is amazing news. You know why?
Yes, it is.
We've seen studies. The lockdowns didn't work. We've seen studies that they may have made things worse.
Yeah,
Infection
you think?
rate isn't as bad. Oh, I got one. We're going to show it. We're going to show a study from JP Morgan did an assessment of all these different states. And they're writing fake news about hydroxychloroquine and stuff. It's the weirdest thing. But now that Fauci has come out, they've lost their, golden calf or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
That was the only defense they had, was that Fauci was
Well,
tepid.
look, Fauci is saying we should remain locked down. So, he's
Exactly.
he's the leader, right?
Right. He was the weather vane. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Now he's totally in favor. And he's actually talking about why it's bad. Check this out. The nation's leading infectious disease expert, Anthony Fauci, said Friday that he is totally in favor of reopening the country if it's done appropriately and cautiously. In an interview with CNBC, Fauci said the nation can't stay locked down, adding that irreparable damage and unintended consequences could ensue if lockdowns are prolonged, including risks to public health. It is for that reason why the guidelines are being put forth so that the states and the cities can start to re-enter and reopen, he said. There it is.
Yep.
Glorious statement.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Dr. Fauci.
Thank you. Finally.
He says,
Seriously.
I believe this. Yes, Fauci says this. I don't want people to think that any of us feel that staying locked down for a prolonged period of time is the way to go. He said, adding that the nation had to do that during the virus outbreak's peak. I'm going to challenge that notion with another article in a second.
Okay.
He said that in general, he thinks most people in the country are reopening in a prudent way. Now is the time, depending upon where you are or what your situation is, to begin seriously looking at reopening the economy, reopening the country to try and get back to some degree of normal. I'm totally in favor of that if it's done in a proper way and appropriate setting, Fauci said. There you go.
Yeah.
Good. All right, let's see if we get this. There we go. Great. Now that he said it, I think we're on track. You've got weird holdout states, like New York, Michigan,
Yeah, what's
New
up with
Jersey. They
Michigan?
want to extend everything.
Yeah, 3 more weeks.
No, we can't do that.
Or 2 more weeks, maybe? No, like 2.5
Till
weeks.
June 12th? Yeah.
June 12th? Yeah, come on.
Crazy length.
Why?
I think they're scared.
Didn't the state tell her she can't do that?
She was. I can't remember the specific details, but I think she was challenged by the legislature.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly what happened.
All right.
But I know in Wisconsin, he lost and he gave up. The governor there, what's his name? Evers? Is that?
Yeah, I think so.
Evers?
That sounds right.
So we got the study right here. Many U.S. states have seen lower infection rates after ending lockdowns that are now destroying millions of livelihoods worldwide, J.P. Morgan study claims.
Wow.
There's actually an argument that the lockdown made things worse.
I believe it.
Look, you had...
It definitely did. Because it's not just fighting off the coronavirus.
Right. In terms of...
It stalled our economy out. Now we're going to have to, climb an uphill battle to get back into, they say, get back to normal. But it's how is that even possible? Millions of people don't have jobs. They don't have jobs to go back to once quarantine gets lifted. That's the issue now.
There's
it's too late for those people.
Yeah.
the small businesses that closed permanently.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no normal for these people.
Exactly.
Man, that's nuts. It's
So
not
what are their options? Go
government
work
handouts.
at Walmart?
Yup.
Great.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. If you were somebody, say, owned your own shop,
Yeah.
now what's your choice? Become a mid-level manager at a Walmart version?
Yeah.
If you had a shoe shop,
Yeah.
like an urban streetwear or something, they shut you down. Walmart's still selling all those clothes. Now you're out of business. You couldn't pay your rent. You get evicted. Whatever happens, your employees have moved out of the city. So you're like, I guess I'll go to Walmart and manage their shoe aisle.
Well, I mean, didn't you say Domino's is paying 6 figures for managing
Taco
position?
Bell.
Taco Bell. That's crazy. So
That was
I'm
before
sure
the
the jobs
lockdown.
are out there. Yeah, yeah.
Before the lockdown, the economy was so good. Taco Bell was paying managers $100K a year.
That's so good.
Wow,
That's
dude.
that's really good money.
Could you
To
imagine?
manage a Taco Bell.
Seriously.
So, but
Awesome.
these are people without degrees.
Yeah.
I mean, in many circumstances.
That's good money.
These are even some people who just got a job at Taco Bell out of high school,
Mm-hmm.
worked there for a couple of years, and then got promoted, and now they're like, well, we want to hire managers, so we got to be competitive.
Yep.
Boom. Economy was great. Not so much now, but the big corporations have all done really, really well. So
Yep. really, really well. Didn't they make over 400 mil or something? 400.
the big box stores,
Maybe more. Is
Well-
it billion or million? I don't
well,
remember what number
billionaires saw a massive wealth increase.
I saw. Yeah.
It's so obvious, dude.
It's obvious.
It's so obvious. You know what's funny?
They took advantage.
There's a among the libertarian conspiracy theorist kind of circles.
Okay.
There's this idea. Actually, it's not fair to say that, but this is where I've heard it from.
Okay.
Like anarcho-communists. I'm sorry. No, that was wrong.
Sorry, what?
Anarcho-capitalists. Immediately, my ANCAP friends are like, "How dare you!"
oh gosh.
I'm gonna get hate mail from. No, but they talk about how the elites
Mm-hmm.
predict, and well, it depends on who you ask, but some people have told me that the elites orchestrate economic collapse. So what happens is the market will go really, really well,
Okay.
and then they'll sell really high, tank the economy on purpose, and then buy everything back up at really low prices. And then when the economy recovers, they now have a larger percentage of
Everything.
resources, right?
Yep.
So I wouldn't, personally go so far as say they orchestrate it.
Okay.
But insider trading is real. It's a crime. It exists.
I mean,
People know.
Didn't we see those senators do that? Didn't they have a meeting and then the very next day sold off millions of stock?
So there's a couple
Didn't that
people.
happen? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a couple people. One of them, it sounds fishy.
Yeah.
But then the what's her name? Loeffler, is that her name?
Kelly Loeffler.
As from my understanding now, hers doesn't seem fishy
Okay.
because hers is like a blind trust, and she had nothing to do with whether they bought or sold.
Yeah,
she
she's not planning on stepping down, so I don't think she has anything
It's
to
the
hide.
other guy. What's his name? Like Burr or whatever.
Yeah. Oh,
His-
he was
his-
super fishy.
Yeah, his seems weird.
Okay.
But dude, they do it. Look, why is Nancy Pelosi worth millions of dollars?
Gosh, she scares me.
There's regular Joe
She's a
Adam being
scary
like,
woman.
she's a scary woman.
She
Scary.
scares me, man.
Yeah.
Why
I
does she
don't-
scare you?
Because she's got this look on her face that she doesn't care what you're saying. She's going to continue saying what she believes, and she believes it 100%.
But isn't Trump that way?
Even if it's wrong.
But that describes Trump too, man. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to cross Trump
You know-
either.
But you know the
for that matter.
You know what the difference is though?
I don't know why I'm not afraid of Trump.
This is one of the weirdest things about
Something
the current
about-
state of politics.
Something about Pelosi, man.
Something about her.
Yeah, she'd poison my food, I think.
Well, so her daughter used this as a selling point for her mom. She's like, she'd cut your head off and you wouldn't even know it. And I was like, that's
Yes.
supposed to be good or
Right. So she'd wait till I was sleeping. Exactly.
Yeah, you would
Trump
never
would
even
come at
know.
me while I'm
Yeah,
awake.
try
At
to
least.
kill
You know what I'm saying?
Nancy'd have to wait.
Trump would like walk up and be like, Adam, I've had enough. And throw you the sword. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's a fair fight.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you.
Yes,
watched
just
that,
like that.
Yeah, I just watched we watched the Family Guy the other day where Peter fought Donald Trump. That was kind of funny.
Oh,
that's-
yeah.
I
But
haven't seen that one. That's funny.
No, but there's a weird thing about how like Trump flaunts his wealth. He loves his wealth.
Yeah.
And Republicans love his wealth. The conservatives, they're like, good for him, you know?
Yeah.
And the Democrats like hide from it and apologize for it. Like
For their wealth, you mean?
for like, it's the weirdest thing.
I'm sorry,
like
I'm
something like that.
privileged. Is that what you mean? That kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I don't know.
they, you know, if people find out they had like a fancy dinner, they're like, oh no, like what do I do? And Trump specifically is like,
I'm having a fancy dinner.
Boom.
Boom.
Here's
Yeah.
the example. Elizabeth Warren has, you know, she gets off a private jet, a tiny one.
Yeah,
and
that's
she immediately
right.
ducks behind somebody.
Just like hiding, yeah.
Wait. Trump pulls the jumbo jet up behind him while
I know,
he's speaking.
during the speech. I know.
That's the perfect
He owns
example.
it.
Amazing. Yeah, you gotta own it.
Yeah,
So
people respect that. People respect
I respect
owning
it.
up to your. I
It's-
don't want to say the word, but owning up to your S. You know what I'm saying?
It's like Trump saying, "Yeah, I'm rich and I know it," and
Yeah.
Warren saying, "Oh no, they found out."
Oh no!
It's weird.
I know I'm rich now.
Yeah,
Or
we
Bernie
do.
just silently taking millionaires out of his conversation. Just the billionaires.
Just the billionaires.
But so think about this, right? In terms of how they've advocated for or against lockdown. You've got Trump saying we need to reopen.
Okay.
Apparently now there's like a quote. I need to fact check this one, but you know, Trump said something like, "We'll never do this again. You know, this can't happen." And then you look at what the Democrats have proposed.
He's talking about locking down. You mean?
right, shutting
Okay.
down the economies.
Yeah. Right.
It's not so much about it's hard to describe. Like when I say the Democrats,
Mm-hmm.
I'm typically referring to the establishment, vote blue, no matter who kind of people, including the politicians, their media allies. It's like that cluster of weird faction or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Their attitudes toward lockdown have been completely asynchronous with the science, the studies, the economy, and it's just the weirdest. I can't imagine regular people trust them.
Yep.
I'm sure weird resistance types who don't pay attention do.
Yeah.
But, you know, in line with what we were just saying about how, like, the Democrats will pretend and Trump will own it, I think that's one reason why people, they trust Trump, even though he says outrageous things fairly often.
Yeah.
They don't trust the media. And then the media starts playing this game where every day they end up proving Trump right. The media is full of it.
Yeah.
And then what happens is you end up with Trump, and people would rather believe the president.
Yep.
It's crazy. I mean, there was a study a couple weeks ago that the general approval rate for the president was higher than the press. And
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
there was a CBS poll that said Trump was more trustworthy by like 2 points. Here's the funny thing, like CNN immediately rushes out to do a poll on this.
Okay.
And then their poll comes out and says Trump is at 36 and CNN is at 55 or whatever. Okay, guys. Like, okay.
They just did the poll in their own office.
Yeah, they're like, quick,
Yeah.
we need some numbers.
Quick, everyone who works here and
Yes.
gets paid by us, do this
So-
poll for us.
We need your feedback.
We also saw this story. What's the date on this one? I will not support. May 12th. Fauci tells Congress there's no guarantee that the vaccine is actually going to be effective.
Oh, wow.
Right. But this is a good example of what I'm talking about. They're out of sync with what's actually going on.
Yeah.
And I bring this up because I wonder now if we're actually going to reopen, even though Fauci said it. So
Jeez.
I'm all excited. Fauci's like, we should reopen. I'm like, yes. But guess what? Fauci said a week ago, 10 days ago,
Yeah, over a week ago. Jeez.
over 10 days ago, there's no guarantee it's effective. What does Los Angeles say? What does New Jersey say?
Yeah, because it's a virus. We've known that.
No. They said we can't reopen until we have a vaccine.
It's ridiculous.
What, are you listening to Fauci?
Yeah.
They're not.
Right.
That's the weirdest thing.
Man, that's
These
it's sad, man. Because I mean, we know we've talked about this, right? You can't get a vaccine for viruses because they'll just mutate. They just
No, you can
mutate.
vaccine viruses. You can't cure viruses.
Okay. Oh, I
Right.
see. All right.
So you
Yeah.
give yourself the immunity by, giving you little bits of the, weakened virus or whatever. Your body destroys it, makes the antibodies, and
Okay.
I think that's how it works, right?
Yeah, so
I'm not going to pretend to be a doctor.
Yeah, I'm not. I am not, in fact, a fancy doctor
She's
or
lying.
any kind of
Well,
doctor.
we treat you like our fancy doctor.
Yeah, but a vaccination is it putting a little bit of a weakened strain of whatever it is into your body, so that your cells develop an immune response to whatever it is.
Right,
And this is why the flu vaccine fails half the time.
Yeah, that's what I
because
was
it's
gonna bring
developed
up.
in conjunction with Australia, we never even get their strain of the flu, which tends to backfire because it's like, well, we were working with the
'Cause it's a
best we
different
had.
strain.
Exactly.
Weird.
So we got different ones in the U.S.
Huh.
So
I'm annoyed with Fauci.
why?
Are you?
Absolutely.
Why?
There have been a lot of conspiracy theorists, and there have been a lot of anger towards him. And I'm not saying the same thing. There have been conspiracy people who think, a bunch of stuff about him. And then there's angry people who are mad at him, because of his wishy-washiness. And that's what I think is on point. He says what in March? Don't wear a mask.
Mm.
You're actually, tricking yourself into thinking you're going to be safe, blah, blah, blah. And then what happens a month later? If you don't wear a mask, you get arrested.
Yeah.
So Fauci has been wishy-washy
Some
on
people
everything,
get arrested.
man.
Some people get handed masks by the
Right.
cops, and that's a
Right.
whole other subject too.
Here's what I think. It really does feel like Fauci is just doing whatever he thinks is safe. That's why I'm annoyed.
Yeah. Okay. I can
Because
see that.
when these studies came out saying the vaccines might not be effective, a week later he goes, well, they might not be effective. It's like, did you just read the story? That came out a week ago.
Yeah.
Then when
Aren't
he-
you supposed to be the leading expert on this?
Yeah.
He's
Come on,
supposed to be
man.
the one
Up on
setting the
it.
opinions on this.
Yeah.
But what it really does feel like is that he's waiting until the media says something that seems safe, and then
Oh,
He's
I
like-
don't like that.
He waits until the public has saturated what they said and is like, oh, okay, yeah, it is safe.
Yep.
All right, I'll say it.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So now that you're seeing a bunch of studies pop up saying prolonged lockdown is making things worse. We've
Yeah.
got two studies. We got the study from JP Morgan. There was another study saying that 66% of people who were getting infected were the ones staying home. And it's obvious. For one, we're learning about vitamin D.
Yep.
But so the easiest way I explain to people is, listen, if you go out, you're less likely to come in contact with the same surfaces as somebody locked in a house, because in the house everyone's in a crammed tight space.
Yep. Everyone's in the
Apartments.
kitchen, opening
Yeah.
the fridge, going to the bathroom,
Right.
like anything like that. Yeah.
So what ends up happening is the people who go out rarely get sick. But if one of them does get sick and they go home, so if there's 4 people at home and 1 person working, the 1 person might get sick. They come back home and now there's 4 at home people sick. So the people who are staying home are more likely to get sick because they're in close proximity.
Yeah.
So and then the people who live by themselves, for instance. So ultimately what the study said was more exposure to sunlight, less likely to come in contact with surfaces even outside.
See, this is
less
exactly what
likely
those
to get
doctors
infected.
in California were talking about. The
Yep.
video that kept getting deleted. That's all they were talking about. We need to be out there to expose ourselves to not just coronavirus, but all viruses that we hit up, bacteria that we hit up, because our immune system naturally is fighting it at all times. When you're locked in, like that's another thing into this study. When you're locked in, your immune system just slowly gets worse and worse and worse because you're not constantly fighting new stuff and building up the natural antibodies to kill them.
And with that being said, I just want to do a quick reminder to the YouTube person who's got their fingers shaking over the ban button, like just eager to. Dr. Fauci says it's time to reopen. Okay. All right. So
Fauci said it.
I defer to the doctor who said that he is absolutely in favor of opening up. So you can move your finger away from the ban button.
Yeah.
and
Look
we
at this
can all,
article. Yeah, it's
not-
Dr. Fauci.
Yeah,
Dr.
this-
Well, no, hold
Fauci
on.
said so.
This
Here we go.
article is
Yeah.
huge.
Fauci says so. That's
Totally
it.
in favor.
Everybody-
Totally in favor.
Yep.
Check it out.
But that other article, though, it I think bring up the other one.
The one about the vaccine.
Yeah, this is way more important. No guarantee that the vaccine is actually going to be effective. Did you hear that, California? Huh?
Yeah, don't stay locked down until
Locked
you
down
get
until
vaccinated.
there's a vaccine
That's
that
absolutely crazy.
Fauci is saying might not even be effective.
Why are you saying California? We're in Jersey, and Governor Murphy just
Yeah, he said the
that.
same thing.
Okay.
That's right. Everyone.
Did you hear that, New Jersey? What
Governor
else? What other
Murphy.
states
Dude.
we got? Michigan,
Did-
New
The
York?
worst
I don't know.
ones.
All those blue states, right?
So
Yeah.
so let me tell you guys something. This right now is just speculative. We went down to the Atlas gym.
he did say there's no guarantee.
Right.
It's a little loose.
Let me tell you how freaky things can be.
Oh, tell me this
This
story.
is-
I actually know the story, but tell them.
Oh, there's a little bit
This is
more you
good.
don't know about.
Oh,
We went
saving it for the show.
we went down to Atlas gym. We live very close to here. This is the gym that's made national headlines because the 2 owners refused to stay closed. They put up a bunch of social distancing guidelines. People were coming in. They were like, I think that were they doing temperature checks on people?
I don't know.
I don't know if they were doing that.
Yeah, they were being very careful though.
Very careful.
Yeah.
So the cops came, told them they were in violation, but then said, don't worry about it, like, have a nice day. Then came back and issued a citation. Started issuing citations to people who were going in, and then arrested one guy briefly because he didn't identify himself. In the middle of the night, apparently something happened where the owners show up, and they see health notice, like notice of embargo from the health department. And then they find that the bathrooms had been flooded from the toilets. so I'm assuming it's sewage.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's like raw, nasty. It's just,
Toilet
whatever.
water. Gross.
Well, it could be more than water. And they said they found paper towels jammed in the pipes, but they don't have paper towels in their bathrooms. Why would they?
Yeah.
Like, I guess you could have those brown napkin things.
Yeah.
Because they don't have them, right? So when we went there, there's the building. It's like, if this was an overhead view, here's the building, here's the entrance, and then there's this road that goes like this around the back, and there's a cemetery behind it. So there's no way to get to there unless you hop the fence in the cemetery.
Okay.
And this woman told us, this is just what I heard from a woman, so maybe it's fake news, I don't know. She said that the other day, before the flooding happened, a woman had claimed to have seen ducks in a drain or something. And then like no one paid attention, everyone ignored her.
Okay.
But then the cops shut down the road that went behind the building. And then the next day it was flooded, and the drain behind the building had the drain cap removed, and apparently that's where they found paper towels. That could just be, hearsay. She could have been one woman who heard, gave a telephone. So I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying very, very much the opposite. This is just a story we were told from out in front of the building, right?
You're talking about like animals, ducks.
Yes.
Birds.
Ducks.
Yeah.
Birds.
Oh, she just saw some ducks.
Yeah.
In a drain that needed to be saved.
In the drain.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
Like
so then after that, the cops blocked the road off. This was we were told.
How convenient.
It was very
hold on,
nice
hold
We
on.
must
alibi.
save these ducks.
Right.
And while you're there, shove some. some toilet paper.
I have no confirmation the cops ever shut the road down. I have
Right.
no confirmation there was ever paper towels found. It was reported on the news that the two guys said this happened.
Conspiracy.
I don't know. For all I know,
I'll say it.
Maybe the two guys went in and flooded the toilets and then came back in the morning and said, "Oh no, look, our toilet's been flooded."
Yeah.
The point is,
The government did it.
this is what people
Yeah.
think and what they're saying.
Yeah.
So, what I said was all that matters is you said the police shut the road down, right? Okay, and then paper towels were jammed in the drain.
And the drain cap is suddenly missing.
Yeah.
So who knows what that
Weird.
means?
Yeah.
People will speculate for sure, and I understand the speculation will lean towards it was sabotage.
That kind of
But
sounds
there's
like it.
there's something else we noticed. When we were leaving, there was a white nationalist sticker on a flag on one of the light poles.
Yep.
It's like someone took I don't know what it's called, but it's like the paper with like the glue, and you like
Yeah.
a bill,
Like a
poster
paper
bill.
mache kind of thing.
Kind of,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Stuck
yeah.
it, and it said something about like you being a Western man and
It
resisting.
said, which way Western man?
Yeah.
Which is a white nationalist thing right now.
But then there was
I
a
don't even-
sticker
what
that
does
said
that even
something like you let in immigrants and like you see what happens or whatever or something like
Oh
that.
my goodness.
But it's crazier. Somebody handed one of the owners a megaphone to use.
Okay.
And it had white nationalist stickers on it. And so then people took photos and started sharing
So
them
they
online.
trapped him.
Yep.
well, that's a setup if I ever heard of one.
Yep.
Holy moly.
And apparently like some dude showed up screaming Nazis at him all.
And she's
and I'm
like, why are
like-
you calling us that?
Yeah.
No answer.
Think about how easy it is to totally discredit anybody.
Yeah.
Handing them a megaphone. And
Here,
then
use this.
And then the press takes photos and they're like, look at that sticker.
Wasn't there a "Don't Tread on Me" flag?
Yeah,
Gadsden
there's the
flag.
Gadsden flag.
Big,
yeah.
huge flag on the.
But that's a revolution.
front of
That's
the
an
business?
American Revolution flag. So,
okay.
so,
That's
but
the
of
feeling.
of course, they try to claim the Gadsden flag as like white nationalist, which is
Is it?
Not even close.
No,
I thought it was more libertarian,
Nah,
isn't it?
yeah.
it's
never has
it's a
been.
flag of the American Revolution.
It's
Okay.
historical.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the snake. Don't tread on me.
Yeah.
And then you have the awesome meme ones. My favorite
I
one.
love them. They're out there.
So you've seen No Step on Snack?
Yeah.
My favorite-
And I've seen the base one too.
Don't.
Yeah, don't.
Just like
great.
a
It's
line.
It's a
so
black
squiggly line that says
line.
don't.
my favorite is the one that someone sent of you.
Really?
Don't tread on Tim.
Oh,
and it's
cool.
got a little
Tim.
beanie on the snake.
How
Don't
cute.
It's
tread on
great.
Tim.
It's great. I'll find it and post it later.
Oh, my favorite
it's
is
so good.
My favorite is the one that says "Don't cough on me," and the snake is wearing a little mask.
Good. That's
That is
good
the best
too.
one.
I
like that.
My favorite.
If only they could have seen in the future what we would do with their
their,
flag.
Yeah.
their navy flag. Their
They
noble
had no
flag.
idea.
But you know what? Let me
How
ask,
many memes?
let me ask you a question, man.
Please
It's
do.
really easy to say don't tread on me and be libertarian when the country is tiny, the population is in a few million,
Good
and
point.
everyone lives a mile from each other. I understand there were still cities and towns and they
Yeah,
were close,
yeah.
but it was a lot easier.
when it was just 13 colonies.
Yep.
Well, even then, it's really funny when I think back to the colonies. I'm like, it's funny that they considered all of this territory the colony when like it's one city on the water
Yeah.
with like a few thousand people,
yeah, basically.
but they're like the whole area. But
yeah, that's a good point.
something's going to happen, and I think it's going to happen no matter what we want because of population growth.
Okay.
Like, how do you look, I want to wake up at 6 a.m. and go skate, right?
Yeah.
I can't. It's too noisy. Neighbors will get mad. So I can't do that. the police will make an ordinance saying you disrupt too many people, therefore you can't do it.
Okay.
So I can't say in that regard, don't tread on me, can I? Like the government's coming and telling me I can't ride my board. I'm not even doing anything to nobody. That's not fair.
Don't tread on me, but have some general respect for your neighbors.
But
Is that basically what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying though.
But so look at it this way.
Within
Like
limits.
in our house right now, we can bang on the drums as loud as we want.
Mm-hmm.
In New York, you can't do that because everybody's crammed on top of each other.
Yeah, a bunch of shoeboxes.
Yeah.
Stacked on each other.
Now that being said,
Mhm.
New York is collapsing, and everyone's fleeing the city. So maybe
Yeah, the
you
New
know,
Yorkers are going nuts. I've seen some crazy videos of what's going on in New York.
Yeah, I
People
wish I
are
hadn't
straight
seen
up.
some of those.
They're straight up banging on the corner, dude.
What do you mean? Like
like-
oh, that's right, right.
Naked
It's like, wait, what do you mean?
and banging on the corner. That's
Yup.
that's all I can say. But
Banging
that's
the drum.
happening. Like
Yep.
what? Yeah,
Lots of drumming
banging
going
the
on.
drum.
But no, you've seen
Yeah.
you've seen the
The
photos.
drum, quote
Yes,
unquote
the drum.
drums.
You've seen the video of them like jumping on top of SUVs,
yeah.
Doing that.
and everyone's dancing and yelling.
What is
and, like,
going on?
They're
It's
losing
falling
it.
apart.
They're
Yeah,
losing
man.
it.
Well, so here's the
They're
question I was
wilding
having,
out.
right? We can see that there's a tendency to where, like, as humans get crammed closer and closer together, you know, can you reasonably demand certain rights when everyone's living on top of each other? Like, obviously, base rights, yes, but I can play music here and be noisy. Can't do it in New York.
Well, even just we'll go with the owning a gun. Like you can't have a gun in New York City.
Is that because people live too close to each other, or because?
I mean, I don't know. I know that there's people in New York, like a guy. For example, I was riding the subway, sat down. I was wearing some brand new sneakers. I saw a guy look at me, walk past me, step right on my shoes, and I was just like, "Hey, man, what was that about?" And he looked at me and said, he like glanced down. He had a razor blade in his hand. He said, "I'll cut you. Say something again." I was like, "Wow!" And I just stood up and like walked off. But they're charged. They're the people in New York. Not everybody in New York, but there's people that have aggression issues. Like I don't know where he was at. I don't know what he was doing. I didn't even know like what I did to provoke him. I had brand new shoes on. Maybe that pissed him off.
Some people just want to watch
people
the
in New
world burn.
York. Yes, but imagine if he had a gun instead of a razor blade.
Yeah.
You know, he could have just been like boom and ran off the
It
subway.
happens.
I mean, he could have cut my throat.
Yeah, stuff
I
like
don't
that
know.
does happen.
Do you see the video of those dudes? There's like an Asian woman at a bus stop,
Okay.
and these three kids walk up and they're all laughing, and the kid drop kicks her in the face. It was actually a crane kick. Everyone called it
Wow.
a drop kick, but it was a crane kick.
No, that's so
Gotta-
messed.
gotta-
That's so messed
Got to
up.
call the
So
maneuver
messed up.
accurately.
Yeah.
Or you see the what's it called? The knockout game they do?
Oh my gosh. We
Bro.
talked about that, didn't we?
Maybe.
Yeah, where
I
they
mean,
kick
you-
the feet out from under each
No,
other.
Oh
no,
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 the
no.
skull crack.
The
The
skull
knock
crack is a
challenge?
different one.
The knockout
Knockouts.
game is they run full speed and hit you as hard as they
Just
can
punch someone right
in the head
randomly.
Yeah, as hard as you can.
Gosh.
So messed up.
What is wrong with people?
I mean, we're kind of steering, you know, but I'm talking about New York, like
This is
you know,
New
it's a
York.
different.
Specifically New York.
True, but I mean, you could do that anywhere. You know, we're talking about rules in a city of people compounding each other, living all together.
And-
People
and-
can knock someone out anywhere you're at. I'm talking
But
about
no,
rules
but- right,
versus.
except
you
if
know.
you if you had a very very tiny colony and you had the population density was like 10 people per square mile.
So everyone knew each other.
Not only and not right. And so if some kid was like, I'm gonna go knock out Mr. Johnson, he wouldn't do it. So now you're getting bigger and bigger cities. Humans can't know each other that much. They're living on top of each other. But it's not only that, there weren't that many people to actually look. If you had a murderer back then, it's like they go on the prowl and after one night find one person. Whereas in New York, these people walk into a building and there's 500 people running around.
Yeah.
Then go nuts. So it's like, this is interesting because I think Joe kind of mentioned this, Joe Rogan, when I was on the show about. I think he mentioned this. Is it a natural tendency of civilizations that when they're so old and been around for so long, they just drift towards authoritarianism?
Okay.
Like
China, for example.
but also their population density. Like Wuhan is a town of what, like 10 million?
oh gosh,
So
I
that's
don't know.
that's a lot of
That's
people.
New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's not even
huge.
their big
We never
city.
even heard
Yeah.
of that.
Exactly. We never even heard of Wuhan.
I didn't. I can honestly say I never heard of Wuhan before this year.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if someone was like, I've never heard of New York City. Where's that? You'd be like,
I'd be like, "Are you kidding me? Come on!"
it's not even one of the, like, what is Tokyo, like 30 million people?
Oh, it's something
Oh wow.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it really?
It's
Yep.
so big.
That's huge.
Yep.
I had no idea.
Same.
And we think like New York is this big, massive city, and it is,
Yeah.
but to us.
Right. to
And so
us.
you look at how China operates, they welded people's doors shut.
That's nuts.
Is that maybe because there's just too many people now? And then it's also like, it's I think it's a product of democracy. And this is one of the problems with democracy versus a republic, for instance. If you have two people and they cross paths and they get into an argument, you try to, mediate, Hey, whoa, whoa. If you have 2 people and 1 person, then you have 2 witnesses against the 1 person, and guess who wins the argument?
The 2.
Now you have a big city where you have millions of people, and you get 1 person who's sick, and you get millions of people saying, lock them up. And so that's the tyranny of the majority. So you end up with these massive societies with tens of millions of people crammed into tiny spaces, and they all react like drastically and violently towards any threat to the system. Whereas if you had a small town somewhere, like when we were driving to LA, we mentioned this the other day, there was a town where they did literally nothing. No social distancing, no masks, and the lady just laughed, we don't care.
Yeah.
We're all preppers, we don't care.
Who was it that said this? That they tend to get more authoritarian?
Joe was asking that.
Okay, I have an idea. So, because
Yeah.
I just looked this up, because I looked up Wuhan. So there's a city in China called Chongqing, and I don't know if either of you guys have ever heard of it. Probably not.
Nope.
30.48 million people.
Wow.
And that makes me think that you can only control that large of a population, 1.39 billion, by being complete authoritarians. There's like, how are you supposed to do that? How do you give that many people freedom? I don't even know if it would work. So that's just my 2 cents.
One person wants to play.
Right.
One person wants to play the drums, and you go, bro. There's 1,000 people complaining about the drums.
Yeah.
They voted you out.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't play the drums now.
Yep, and we're gonna come and fix it for you.
That's the importance of a Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
Like if there was like an amendment, like we hereby the people guarantee the right to play drums, then you'd be like, I don't care how many people get mad. Constitution says I can play drums.
All I can think about right now is this whole social justice thing. It feels like the beginning, because there's a few people that are screaming for social justice, and then enough people say, I guess that's something we need to make laws about, and then they make laws and ruin it for everybody and kind of like shut it down, and then slowly we turn into this authoritarian world where you're not allowed to do anything, and the government welds your door shut if there's a pandemic.
Yeah.
China.
Definitely. But one of the weirdest things that's happening with social justice stuff is they're not even arguing with the laws anymore. They're just like change the definition of the word.
Yeah.
That's
for real.
sneaky.
To fit the law that's already in place.
Exactly.
Yep.
So if woman doesn't mean biological female, then the law doesn't mean biological female.
Yep.
It's an end run around how the laws have been formed.
Really sneaky.
Yep.
I mean,
really creepy.
When you look at it that way, it's like all laws are null and void then, because we can just change the definition of whatever we want to make
Second
it not
Amendment,
illegal.
bro.
Man,
it's like the language is you've got one thing the left always brings up about the Second Amendment is that it says a well-regulated militia, and it's like, do you know what any of those words mean?
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of arguments I've heard. One of the arguments I've heard is that regulated didn't mean controlled by the government; it meant armed, like regulars.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't think this is true though, but I'm just saying, like, to interpret the word in a different way. To us, regulation is like when the government comes in and says, we got all these checked boxes and now you're operating properly. Right. You've been, you're under regulation. You're not allowed to do this or we'll come in and fine you.
Right.
But then you can look back and see and argue that back then, regulated meant you were equipped with the best weapons and like, the best military gear and stuff like that. So you were
up to date.
Yeah.
And trained. Yeah.
But
okay.
I don't think that's true either. It's just something I've heard. The point is, people will bring up what they really meant.
Right.
And then the left will argue semantics. So even though it's clear, as of right now, what the Second Amendment says, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, why would we even argue the language? Actually, Family Guy made a really funny joke about it. It was a cutaway gag where they mention, the founding fathers were clear or whatever, and then it shows a cutaway. And then they're like, are you sure the language is clear enough on the Second Amendment? And it's like, yeah. What can't you understand? Everyone can have a pair of bare arms. And then there's bare arms on the wall. It's like, you can keep...
keep and bare arms, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, it's perfectly clear.
Yep.
I have seen that, actually.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And so, as language changes, the amendments, will mean something different.
Yeah.
Like, eventually you'll end up with someone arguing infringe. What does that really mean? And then there'll be a court case, and they'll say infringe actually means, and they'll say, it doesn't mean the government can't make laws about it. It means there must be due process. So it's all about the arguments, right?
Yeah.
Well, the founding fathers didn't mean the government couldn't do it. They meant that it had to be due process.
Or just change the word of fringe or infringed completely to mean something else. Yeah.
Tweak the language.
Yep. Infringed, like inflammable, means it can be fringed upon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
Fringed
Yeah, I
upon.
like that.
Yeah.
Fringing, that's a thing.
Fringing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I love how there's like archaic words that don't make sense anymore, like gruntled. A gruntled
I love
employee.
that. Disgruntled, gruntled.
No, a gruntled employee.
Gruntled means satisfied,
Yeah.
happy. Yep.
Combobulate.
Gruntled.
Yeah.
Gruntled.
I'm, for the record, I'm gruntled.
Quite gruntled with
I'm
this,
glad to
this
hear.
show and this podcast.
I'm glad to hear.
Hope everyone else is too.
That is a good word I've never actually used or heard before. Disgruntled, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
It's the opposite.
Speaking of tyranny, now is a good opportunity to talk about a horrifying story, if it loads
Oh,
properly.
there we go.
Oh, this. God, this is scary.
Oh man, yeah, you're not kidding.
Government contact tracing app sends user data to Foursquare and Google. Why?
Yeah, good question.
So apparently, this is in North
Yeah.
Dakota. There is a new contact tracing app they've been using, and it is sending your private data to private companies. And there's even an argument, it's contact monetization, because the
Oh.
data can be sold and used.
Whoa.
Yup.
What?
So
Holy
this
wow.
this is from futurism.com, and it gives us kind of like a quick summary of a couple different articles. So I'll just read this to you, and then we can carry on our conversation about, do we even have rights at this point? Public access. They report, there's a troubling flaw with the coronavirus contact tracing app used in North Dakota. It violates its own privacy policy by quietly sending users information to companies like Foursquare. Now I'll stop real quick. You guys some context for those that aren't familiar. Contact tracing is this idea that, say, your phone. When I walk up to Adam, my phone knows his phone, and so it records the contact. And then governments can look at who talked to who to try and figure out where the virus may have spread from. How convenient. So now they want all these people to download this app so that they can look on a map and see who talked to who, and that's insane spying, right?
Insane.
To make it so they tell us it's for your safety. There's a virus, man. If you get sick, we want to know how you got sick and who you came into contact with, right? That makes sense. And they go and sell your data to a private third-party company, and what are they going to do with it?
Yeah.
That seems like a sneaky way they were able to get access to our private information.
Agreed.
And now we're seeing this. Consumer privacy app company Jumbo studied the app, Care19, and found that it was transmitting information to third parties, including Foursquare and Google, according to the Washington Post. The finding is unfortunate, not only because it's a major privacy violation, but also because it threatens to erode the public's trust in government attempts to contain COVID-19.
Yeah,
And the public
straight.
is already lost trust for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Proud Crowd, here's this contact monetization. Proud Crowd, the company that developed the contact tracing app, confirmed that it sends data, but says it's not for commercial purposes. According to WAPO, and a Foursquare spokesperson told WAPO they don't use that data, and it's promptly discarded. But the fact remains that Care19 users were told their data wouldn't be sent out at all.
Yeah, but they said they were selling it to them, though. Selling it to third-party apps.
It says selling?
No,
No. It's
Oh, I thought they said in the first thing you wrote or read.
No, it's sending it to.
Oh, sending it
Sending
to.
it to them.
Oh, okay. Well, like monetization though,
I
is
don't-
that not selling?
Well, they write. It just says contact monetization.
Oh, okay.
Listen.
Oh, okay.
I don't care what they said. You know why?
They're
Because
liars.
they're liars.
You're right.
Yeah. Remember Cambridge Analytica?
Yeah.
Don't worry, your data will be discarded, and then we'll sell it to a private company to harvest voter data to be used for political campaigns. So now, think about what they can do with all this data. They don't just know who you talk to; they know where you go.
Yeah.
Think about it this way: if you are in, you're downtown in your city, and I come into contact with Adam, then, 30 minutes later, I come in contact with Lydia in the southwest suburbs. They now basically know the most likely route I took, where I went.
The time it took for you to get there.
They know if I was
Yeah.
speeding in my car.
Oh
True.
yeah, they do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna be like, "That's interesting. It should have taken you an hour to get there, but you got there in 45 minutes. You must have been going pretty fast.
Huh.
No break. They can also see if it took longer. They can be like, must have stopped for food. Then it's not even about who I know.
They would have been able to tell where you stopped. too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I won't even know Bill Johnson, who's getting a cheeseburger at Carl's Jr., but I pulled up to the drive-thru and he was in front of me, and that's
Touched something he touched.
or whatever the range is for the cell phones.
Right.
And now they know exactly where I stopped, because everyone, and they're going to see clusters on the map, and here's the best part. Now they're going to tell you,
best part?
trust us.
Gets better.
Just, Adam, trust me. I'm not going to send your data to private companies to sell. Lydia, you want to buy Adam's data?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
I don't like this.
Don't look at me. It was an accident.
Why do you want my information, Lydia?
I don't know. I'm really curious.
She wants to know what to get you for your birthday.
That's true. I do.
She wants to know where I got my sweatshirt.
That too. Yeah, I figured that out on my own.
So let's read a little bit more. They say, Quote, sharing is supposed to be an anonymous code along with an advertising identifier sharing what is supposed to be an anonymous code along with an advertising identifier has serious privacy risks. Why would there be an advertising identifier at all?
Yeah. Why?
This is just, it's exactly
So
what you'd
skeevy.
expect, man. Come on. If the government came and said, we just want to know who you've been talking to, it has nothing to do with anything, don't worry about it. And you're like, okay,
full of
you're a
nonsense.
moron.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yes, sir.
Dude.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Yeah. Sure.
Lawyer.
Whatever you
Sure.
say, sure.
Yeah.
If you will be advised by any lawyer worth their weight, do not talk to any law enforcement without a lawyer. Period.
Yep.
I'm not a lawyer. That's not advice from me. It's just what I was told. I watched a YouTube video once. That's what
Oh.
they said.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
if
true.
you heard it on the internet.
But think about
Yes.
the data the government is asking for, with you without having a warrant, without having even talks to legal, representation or anything.
Right.
And then think about what they might say if there's a lockdown and they go, according to the app, you were in the park. Remember that dude in Hawaii who got arrested because he took selfies?
No.
Some
I didn't hear
dude
about this.
some dude went to Hawaii, and then he immediately went out and took selfies and was having a good time.
Okay.
Police saw the pictures on social media, or people saw the pictures, reported him. Cops came and arrested him. And they said it's a 14-day quarantine as soon as you come, and because you took these pictures, we know where you were. You're under arrest.
Wow.
There was apparently another woman, same thing happened to. I just saw this story earlier today, that she posted selfies on the beach, and the beach was closed or something. So they went and found her. And so think about contact tracing.
Yeah.
You walk through Central Park not realizing it's closed, and then they come and arrest you. Well, the park was closed.
That's a scary world we live in.
Or give you a ticket.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
No, I don't like this at all.
Bro, it's coming. It's gonna be.
What do you mean it's coming? It's here. They're doing it.
I mean widespread, national. Everyone's gonna be happy and like, oh, I got my contact tracing app. Now the government knows where I am. Great.
Perfect.
You know,
Won't get
you know, I
kidnapped.
think about living in the 1800s, and I'm like watching these old westerns and stuff, and I'm like, what's to stop some dude from just killing literally anybody and then getting away with it?
Yep.
You
My
can't-
mind goes to Red Dead Redemption 2. You're
Right.
going down the road, you see someone, boom.
No, you throw a rope around their neck.
Who
and
would
drag
know? No one would know, and no
Yeah.
one does know. And you just keep riding, and you're good.
I mean, to be honest, a lot of people don't know this. This is kind of scary. I believe the overwhelming majority of premeditated murder is never solved.
wow.
Never
Yeah, that
solved.
sounds right.
Really?
Unfortunately.
Yep. Most murders that are solved are passion crimes. But
Not,
when,
Because it's
not
obvious.
well planned. Yeah.
it's the ones that aren't well planned
Yeah.
from idiots. That's
Passion.
scary, dude.
Get
Yeah,
all
wow.
angry.
It's really scary. It's like a small percentage. I think it's actually decent enough though. Like premeditated murder, it's like, I think it's like 40% or something gets solved.
That's still not very high of
Oh,
a
actually,
number.
no. I think I'm wrong.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I think
gonna
it's
have
way
to look it
less.
up.
I
Lydia's
think it's
on
way,
it.
way less. Yeah,
I'm on
look it up.
I'm looking it up.
Because it's something I heard a really, really long time ago.
Yeah, wow.
That like I think it was passion murders actually have a less than chance likelihood of being solved.
Wow.
There's a 40% chance you'll get away with murder. Something.
Premeditated?
In America. Yep. The police's solve rate is even worse for other crimes. If you murder someone in America, there's nearly 40% chance you'll get away with it.
Okay, so there's a 60% chance
Well, hold on.
that they'll find him.
Is that
Yeah.
specifically premeditated, or are they combining all different kinds of murder?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so
That's a
that's
good
from
point.
the FBI's latest data on crime.
Yeah, that makes more sense what you were saying then,
Yeah.
Well, because
right?
premeditated.
Right. Well, no, the passion murders they solve.
Right.
So of course the total number of murders
Would-
that they find
Exactly.
would be higher, right?
So if they I'm curious if that actually tracked only premeditated.
I'm not sure.
Because I remember being told this. I don't know if it's true. It's been a long, long time. That it takes only a little bit of obfuscation or misdirection to thwart an
Yeah,
investigation.
true.
And so it's that's scary. I guess actually that's an argument for contact tracing. Because then it's like you turn up dead
Yeah, I was
and they're
gonna say
like,
this is sounding like an argument
Well,
for
we
it.
can find out where he was.
Yeah, where was he? Who
well,
took
actually,
him?
no. I mean, that's why I brought it up. I'm like, you think about the technology back then, and it was like, someone you could be taking a leak behind the saloon, and someone will walk up and go bang, and they
That's
walk
it.
away, and that's it.
Curtains
And
for
bang.
you.
Wasn't
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, it's like you'd probably think that it's the same back then. They passion murders are probably the ones they solved.
Yep.
Well, who hated this person? Well, Johansson over here, he hated him and go over there,
done
and
stole
he's like
his cow.
washing the blood off his hands, like Johansson, we got you, haha.
Yeah.
And that's
I guess-
pretty much it.
I guess what's scary for back then is the likelihood of innocent people being locked up was substantially higher. You know,
Yeah.
like even going back a few decades, we have innocent people in prison and then DNA evidence.
It's probably still happening. You
Oh, it
know?
definitely is. That's
Definitely.
why I oppose the death penalty, man. Did you hear that story? I'm going to be very, very vague with the language here.
Okay.
There's a story of a guy who he wrote this long message. He confessed to murder because he saw a guy in his neighborhood who was he did some bad things to kids,
Right.
and he looked him up, saw that, and he was like, and he killed the guy.
Wow.
And people are cheering for him. He's like raising a ton
Oh, I know.
of money
This is right now, right?
Yeah.
right now.
I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah. So this guy, like people on Twitter are like, he's a hero, and all this stuff. They're raising a bunch of money for him. And I'm like, for me, it's kind of like, man,
I mean, he still murdered somebody.
I
Yeah.
empathize.
Yeah.
Like this dude is as bad. Like, wow.
The
What
guy
do you-
he
understand
did
that.
kill?
Yeah,
you
it was
mean?
the guy who got killed was convicted 13 years ago.
Okay.
The challenge is innocent until proven guilty. And so if this guy got convicted 13 years ago, then what you need to do is prove it. But I bring this up because, you know, if we're dealing with the use of technology to prove innocence and stuff, we have to recognize the fact that there are going to be people who are locked up who didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And then if you think we can kill people, then the argument I hear from people is often, I'm okay with killing one innocent person out of X if it means we get rid of bad people. And I'm like, man, I could not imagine being that innocent person.
Yeah,
being
all you have to
told,
do is be
"You're the
like-
sacrifice.
Would you be that innocent person then?
Yeah, seriously.
Some people say
That's a
yes.
good question.
Yeah. I don't think everyone could say yes though in that situation though. There's.
Do you want to be the sacrifice
You want
to
your
make the system
brother-
work?
I don't
your
want
sister
any
to be the
innocent people to
sacrifice?
be killed.
No, I
you
just
know?
mean like, right, I'm not literally asking.
Oh,
you. It's
okay.
like, you know, if it is better than 10 guilty persons escape than one innocent person suffer. And I think Ben Franklin said it's better than 100 guilty persons escape than one innocent suffer. And like, I completely agree with that.
You can't argue with that. Yeah.
It's a challenge though, because people turn it around and say, what if that one murderer who gets released murders another person and now an innocent person has suffered?
Yeah.
Like, that's a really important point to bring up.
It is a good point.
Man, conundrums. And that brings me back to the contact tracing argument, because now you come back to the security versus freedom. If this contact tracing app can be used in a bunch of different ways, it could stop murderers.
Well, I mean, it feels like they could do that without giving our data to private companies.
Right. That's the problem.
That's the line where
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, whoa, like, what are you doing giving our information away? Like, you want to use it? You want to use it for this? Now, obviously, they're already using it. So,
I agree, but my line is giving the government access to know where I am at all times.
well, I agree. I don't want them to have that information anyway.
But
It's
they
like,
do.
but they have
Dude,
it.
Like,
It's like, all right.
we've already given all our contact data to Facebook, so it's like, for me to sit here and be like, oh, harumph, harumph, I say.
they already know when I'm pooping.
Yeah,
You know.
right.
Now I feel like every time I poop, I get this urge to just tweet at Facebook, like, "Hey, Facebook,
Guess what I'm doing?
You know
I'm
what
pooping.
you
I'm
know,
pooping right now."
You know what I want to do? I want to take you know the Kilroy meme. Kilroy was here.
Yeah, the world's oldest meme or whatever.
I want to make that, but it's Mark Zuckerberg, and
Okay.
I want to put the decal in the bathroom.
No, how dare you?
So it's like whenever you're in there, there's like a Zuckerberg face
I don't like that.
peeking out over a wall,
Gross.
over a
No.
big Facebook logo.
I don't want it.
Or underneath in the toilet bowl.
You know, it'd be funny. No. In just public restrooms, in stalls.
Oh,
on the
in
inside
I
of
thought
the
you
door.
meant like here.
Yeah.
It's like no.
Or
Zuckerberg
you
is
can
watching you.
have like some sort of machine that when you sit down, as soon as it senses that someone's sitting down, it comes up from
face
the
pops
other
up.
side. Like, someone look at. Oh no, it's just an ad for
It's
something.
just Mark
Well, if you had a
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg's face.
If you had a sticker, you could easily just be like, on the inside of a stall, and then because people when people walk into stalls, they don't look at it.
Or you don't
Yeah.
see
So
it.
you walk in, they close it, they turn, then they sit down and look up, and there's
Oh, no.
Zuckerberg just like
face.
looking down,
I want to
Maybe
make
with
those
like a
stickers.
magnifying glass.
and I just and
Like,
a word bubble that says, "I'm watching you poop,"
Oh my gosh.
or no, I'm sorry, I know you're pooping.
I know you're pooping now.
but then you could
That's
actually
pretty
I
good.
like
Yeah.
that.
All right, we got
No,
we got
no,
another.
no,
no,
no.
Make
no.
those stickers.
Ah.
Come on.
Talk to me later. Oh,
Where-
of course, you took the camera away.
Oh, okay.
No.
Talk to me later.
No Zuckerberg stickers.
I got a site.
Oh,
But I'll
it's
tell you
so
what.
good.
It would be an excellent informational campaign to explain to people about what it means when you're giving up your privacy.
That's
Yeah.
true.
But hold on, let me ask you then. Is it really that big of a deal if Zuckerberg knows you're pooping?
To me.
I thought about that too because we've talked about them knowing when I poop a lot, and I'm just like, you know what, Facebook, have at it.
Whatever.
Sell my pooping times to.
But, well, so let's talk.
So
let's,
where are you
hold on,
going to
hold
sell
on.
that information?
No, wait. Let's talk freedom versus security.
Okay.
What if you're pooping
Mm-hmm.
and then you're straining really hard and like an embolism pops in your brain, like, and then you collapse. And then
I'm picturing it.
Facebook's tracking you, right? And so Facebook's predictive model is like, okay, he should be in the bathroom for, about a minute, and then he should get up and he should go to Taco Bell like normal, but then you don't go to Taco Bell.
Yes, 1 minute.
And they
that's
notice
all it takes.
your phone isn't moving.
They're
And
like,
then it calculates the probability, and then it says, in all likelihood, Adam was injured. And then they call 911, and the ambulance shows up, and there you are, keeled over in your bathroom with like one eye bloodshot, and you're like, ugh, and they save your life.
Yeah, hey, that actually happened. So there was a guy.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so there was a guy who was riding a mountain bike, and he like went over the handlebars.
Yeah.
And he was wearing his Apple Fitness watch or whatever.
Right.
And they were like, oh my gosh, this suddenly stopped, and then it stopped moving completely. And so they sent paramedics to his location because, of course, they had his location.
Wow.
Like, yeah,
That's kind of cool, though.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, that's a perfect example of where it's a good thing that
is
dude.
security.
I mean, I don't know how hurt he was,
yeah,
but
he was pretty banged up. He was a
yeah.
long way from
Well, the guy. What about that movie, 48 Hours? Dude broke his arm with
he
like
had to saw his arm off.
Yeah, he got pinned in.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually sawed his arm off and
What?
got out.
I don't know.
I haven't seen the movie, but I know that's what it's about. It's a real story.
His arm? I read. I thought there was a movie or like a story about a guy who was had a tree fall on his leg, and then he pulled out a pocket knife, and then he just like.
What a way to go!
Oh, man.
It was like lose the leg or lose your life, buddy.
But back to what you were talking about though, the security versus
freedom
infringement, or freedom and security, I guess.
But I guess theoretically, your freedom, you can when it comes to having your data tracked in certain ways, it's possible you're not going to give up any freedom. Maybe a little bit, but gain a lot more security.
Maybe for older people?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, because they detected an arrhythmia for another lady.
Wow, really?
Yeah, she had atrial fibrillation, and they were watching her heart like usual, and they were like, holy cow, it's really irregular, and it's really fast, because it gets up into like the 140s sometimes, and it's really, really, I mean, you'll be sitting there doing absolutely nothing, and your atria are just fibrillating.
So what, that she had like a Fitbit on or something?
Yeah, she was wearing her iWatch or
whatever.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, so I was like, that could be useful for some people.
Right.
Mark Zuckerberg is our friend. We should love Facebook.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Is that the right beanie?
This is the
what beanie you got on?
Oh my
gosh. It's a Facebook
little Facebook logo on
while
the back.
camera was changed, someone took like a little computer chip. It's got
Tim,
the Facebook logo on
Tim, blink 3 times if it's you.
Tim Cook. Yeah.
There is an interesting a problem with just general freedom versus security in a broader sense too.
Wait, you just blinked 3 times.
Oh my gosh.
Good.
I'm blinking SOS.
Feels good.
No, like another way to look at it is like ATMs at banks.
Yeah.
Like the monopolization of banks is a bad thing. These big banks then they become too big to fail. Then they start panicking, and then it causes major economic collapse, like in 2008. But it is pretty convenient, nowadays how you can go anywhere and find an ATM because there's only a few banks.
True. Yeah.
It's like there's a convenience to having that one ubiquitous service, but a major detriment then to them being too powerful and then being unable to stop. And then when they screw things up, they beg, and the government has to bail them out. So it's like maybe the convenience isn't really worth it. I mean, competition is really important, and we're losing that too.
True.
But anyway, back to the contact tracing stuff. It's convenience is a really easy way to steal freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in that same sense, it's like ATMs is convenient for us. What do we get out of this contact tracing stuff? Like, what is it really giving us? Unless you're old.
Public health.
Right.
Yeah.
They're gonna call it public health.
Public health,
yeah.
right.
Let's entertain their actual argument. If there was a serious outbreak, I mean, there is.
Right.
I mean, a more serious one, like some kind of like
something
airborne
even worse.
Ebola or something.
Okay, yeah.
Then it'd be great, actually. That's the scary thing, because it's what I was talking about with like population growth. I mean, we've got real adversaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the challenge is knowing where the line needs to be drawn, and when security needs to override certain things.
Yeah.
It's not as easy to say, absolute in any direction. Now, I definitely think I always veer towards freedom for sure, because power tends to corrupt. Absolute power tends to corrupt. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You give someone emergency powers, what do? They go Whitmer on you. They go Queen Karen.
Let's turn that into a thing.
Going Whitmer.
Going Whitmer.
Going
on you.
Whitmer.
Terrifying.
She went after a 70-year-old barber.
I know.
Yeah,
But
dude.
look at Governor Murphy. He's like, these two young men running a gym. Oh, I'll get you. It's like,
I'm going to bring
why?
the full force of the law down on you in your sewage system.
They could have.
Conspiracy.
Yep.
Conspiracy.
Yep, yep,
No,
yep.
but I mean, no,
No.
but the governor directly threatened them, saying it's like, this is not a game. Like, we will, come after you. It's like,
Yeah,
bro,
life
there's-
isn't a game. They want to support their families. That's
Yeah,
what they're
seriously,
thinking.
that's
and
the
they're
whole
not the
point.
only gym.
They're not trying to play games.
Yeah.
Can't
That's
believe that.
that's the main problem is
Mm-hmm.
that you can't expect the convenience offered to you to be used properly. As we've seen with this contact tracing app, they can whisper all the sweet nothings into your ears about how if you're in your living room, you think you got a fart, but then you pop a vein in your brain and you collapse, we'll save you. If you fall off your bike or whatever, we'll be there for you. It all sounds good.
Yeah, sure. Those few and far between stories of where it actually does
Very
make
rare,
sense.
yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah. What about how about exactly what every single person is doing,
All
and
the
you're
time.
giving it to private
Selling
private
it,
data.
making
Yeah,
money off of
exactly.
it.
Yeah, making
But
money
then
off of it. Like,
also think about how they could come after you for anything. Like I said, like the guy who went to
oh,
the beach.
you were speeding.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
I-
they're
you
already
get a
watching that.
You get a ticket in the mail.
Yeah. So so this is something that I noticed when I use Google Maps is that they'll tell you what the speed limit is here, and then right beside it is your speed.
Right.
And
Really,
they'll
it
tell
gives you
if you're
your
speeding.
speed now.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was afraid of
Oh,
that
that's
before.
new.
I was like, this is how they're gonna get us. They'll just send you the ticket in the mail.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You know what the big problem with this is? Because I did an interview with this guy named Moxie Marlinspike,
Okay.
famous like data privacy technologist. And people often say, "What's the big deal? If I'm not doing anything wrong, I got nothing to worry about, right?" And his response was, "No, because think about the legalization of marijuana across the country.
Okay.
It's illegal federally.
Right.
How would we know we want it legal unless someone broke the law? If they always know what you're doing, then the only thing that can happen is more laws will be created and laws will never be repealed."
Yep.
Right.
Moving further and further towards
Yep.
authoritarian.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's the danger of spying on people, because people need to be able to bend and break and change these laws.
Yeah.
Now we just saw, I think, in Virginia, they just signed a bill decriminalizing marijuana.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't like it. There are a lot of states that have legalized it, but it's a relatively popular thing. I mean, I'm convinced that if Trump came out right now and said something like, "We're going to legalize marijuana across this country federally. We're going to tax it. It's going to be great. We're
Biggest landslide
yeah,
ever.
It would
Yeah.
just be like
young people would
every-
vote for
It's
that.
like, well,
Every-
Trump's winning. Trump,
Yep.
Biden,
Yeah.
go home.
yeah. Get
Or
out.
go back to the old home that you
Yeah,
came from.
seriously.
Whatever,
and
wherever.
Biden's opposed to pot.
Really?
Yeah, like people have like gone nuts. Like, what is he doing? Young people want regulated, legalized.
So out of
Like,
touch.
Well, he's
Dude.
taking his time. He's getting one group at a time to not vote for him.
Yeah, I
Right,
got
right,
one
right.
today. Oh my gosh.
yeah, today.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that yet.
Let's
Nailed
talk about
it.
it now.
All
Let's
right.
move on.
All right.
Joe Biden is back.
Oh, with a vengeance.
Oh, my
man.
gosh, Joe Biden is on fire.
Trump campaign selling.
Like literally, he's burning.
Look at
Yeah,
this.
he
Look
really
at
is
this.
going down in flames.
The Trump campaign is selling "You ain't black" shirts after Biden comment.
Oh,
Oh,
Atlanta.
no. Look,
I mean, this is a little much. Come on.
You got to capitalize on your enemy's
I mean,
mistakes,
he
man.
said it though. That's the crazy thing that blows me away. Like, what?
this is
Yeah.
the difference.
How
Pull,
did he
pull-
think
pull
it was
this
a
up.
good
Look.
idea?
What's up? There we
Joe
go.
Biden apologizes. Donald Trump sells the shirt.
Huh.
This
Who's
is
the winner?
Look, man, it's funny to me that all these conservatives came out and were like railing on Biden, like, how dare you? Oh, so let me give you guys the context first, because I'm sure most of you know, because it was a nationwide
It was
trend.
huge.
Yeah, all day.
I got offended, a little bit from this. I'm like, wow. So Joe Biden's doing an interview with what's the Breakfast Club?
Yeah.
At
Charlemagne the God.
Right. And what's it? Biden basically says, "I've got to go. My wife's got to come on." And Charlemagne's like, "Well, when you come back to New York, I got more questions for you."
Mm-hmm.
And then Biden's basically said, "If you haven't figured out, if you're voting for me, if you're voting for me or Trump, then you ain't black or whatever,
Right.
something like that." And Charlemagne the guy was like, "No, it's not about white or black. It's about real questions."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Dude, yes."
Yes.
It's like, I
thank
want
you.
stuff in my
Exactly.
community.
Yeah, I want stuff for my community. So
Right.
Joe Biden, man,
He forced it to be a race issue.
what an
He
idiot.
threw that out there.
Dude.
What's crazy is oh man, when Joe Biden is incoherent, he's better off.
Yep.
It's a good point.
Think about the things he said when he was actually making sense.
Think about
Little-
that sentence alone, though. That right there. He's better off when he's incoherent.
He really
This
is.
man is running for president, and that's where we're at.
Oh, dude, I love it. It's just like
man.
This is not real life, is it?
I'd rather hear about the thing.
The thing.
Yes, the thing.
Oh, you
he
know
should
the
he
thing.
should have
Hold on.
gone with that.
I know.
right?
I know why he said that though. The thing. That
yeah.
that wasn't him. His brain breaking.
Right.
He says go. He goes, we're created under go. You know the thing.
God.
I think
he was trying to say God.
he
Yeah.
knew to say God, but he realized at the last minute, like,
Oh,
Can't say
wait.
that anymore.
Maybe
not
I
to
shouldn't.
Democrats.
Yep.
Social justice.
Yes.
You can't say that to Democrats. So he was like, you know the thing, and now he has the famous you know the thing.
Yep.
Dude, this is the perfect example of the difference between the two campaigns. Trump hopped right on and said, we're going to sell. Do they have pictures of the shirts? They don't.
No,
Biden
they're pretty
apologized.
funny
They're
though.
nice and simple.
Where
I like
do,
them.
do they have it? They don't have it?
I'm
Okay, whatever.
surprised.
Yeah,
what
they
the heck?
should.
Well, they're not trying to sell the shirts for the Trump campaign, I guess.
The shirts, which cost $30, were revealed on the Trump campaign site shop just hours after Biden sparked criticism on Friday.
They wasted no time.
I have the Trump straws. You want to grab those real quick? The Trump straws?
Sure.
You see them?
No, I don't see them.
So they're on the.
Yeah,
You got them. All right. So someone sent me these because I'm like, I'm not going to buy straws from Trump. You know what I mean?
I totally would have. That's fantastic.
But so somebody someone's using these straws. Who used them? Look at this package. Was it you?
Yes.
Who was?
I saw you using a
Did
Trump
you use
straw.
a Trump straw?
Oh, I think I did. I was like, oh, these straws are perfect.
Look at these.
They're Trump straws.
Look at that. You see that?
Who knew?
So they banned plastic straws, and Trump's campaign. These people are brilliant. They are
Let me see those.
They're absolutely brilliant. Trump made, what do you make, like $100,000?
He did. He made a killing. Oh,
wow.
Didn't he also make Sharpies? Remember Sharpie Gate?
Yes.
Sharpie Gate?
Yes.
I must have missed
Sharpie
this.
So
Gate,
there was a
alright.
hurricane, and he has this diagram that the NOAA was it
NOAA.
yeah, what does that stand for?
Oh, gosh,
The
I don't
Northern
know.
Oceanic Atlantic or something. I don't know.
I don't
Okay.
know.
It shows the path of the hurricane,
Right.
And then there was a Sharpie line that drew a bigger bubble,
Oh yes, I remember that.
and everybody lost their minds, and they were arguing it was illegal for him to
For
manipulate.
like
I'm
2
like,
weeks they were talking about
Dude.
this. National Oceanic and Atmospheric
so
Administration.
Trump sells Sharpies on his website,
Oh,
and
my
he made a
goodness.
ton of money. And now we have Trump straws. So I mentioned something about like it's a genius move. The funny thing about the straws argument is that all these jurisdictions are banning them,
Yeah.
and it doesn't do anything. The U.S. isn't contributing that plastic pollution to the gyres or the rest of the world. It's other countries like China and India.
Right.
So then the U.S. changes things. We're already doing okay, fine. Look, I don't care.
Well, it's about
Paper
setting
straw-
an example, maybe too.
Yeah.
I guess.
Think about that.
Paper straws suck.
These
you
are
know.
reusable straws.
I
These
never even liked
These ones?
straws.
Yeah, they're reusable.
Oh.
I
just thrash them out.
actually did back a project that is a little tiny pack. I mean, I have it upstairs and go grab it, but it's a straw that unfolds. It's like,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, it's great.
What's
it's
it made out
it's
of?
a silicone straw.
Oh, cool.
It's got a little cleaning thing in it too. It's awesome.
Yeah, if we,
Yep.
yeah, I don't know. I've just
So
been seeing
you
these
just
things
have it on
on
your
too.
keychain.
That's so cool.
There it
I
is.
love it.
Pull it up.
Oh my
Pull it
goodness.
up.
Snap. Ah!
I cannot believe this.
Pull this
No,
up.
I can believe it. I can completely believe
Totally.
it.
Oh my gosh.
Joe Biden. Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Such a tone deaf and stupid thing for Biden to say. And you know I feel bad? Because you know he was joking.
Yeah.
But it's like
He wasn't joking, was he?
he was
He apologized for being a wise guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Is that what he
yeah,
said?
yeah, that's what
Yeah,
he
that's
said.
that's what his
What?
apology was.
Yeah, that was his apology.
Isn't that what he said?
It's like
I should have
I
should
shouldn't have been a wise
Yep.
guy. It's like, oh, so you thought it was funny to joke about that.
Little
Listen,
tone
listen.
deaf.
Who wants to wear the shirt anyway?
Let's be honest. I don't think Joe Biden was trying to be racist, and I think it's really stupid when
No, I
everyone's-
agree.
And that's what I'm saying. The bigger problem is that he's just tactless, and he's so out of touch. He didn't realize
So old
that
school.
this is not going to like. You know what it is? He comes from a bygone era,
Yeah, exactly.
and he's trying to be hip and with it.
Yeah.
So it's like watching the old man come out and like come on the lawn while the kids are skateboarding, like I'm with it. I can do the Lindy Hop,
You
and
do
you're like,
fellow
That's what I was
kids.
thinking. I'm like, watch, we're gonna see him playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
No.
Like, yeah, check it out,
he's gonna
guys.
he's gonna do a TikTok.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's gonna be
no,
like-
it's
No,
even
I
worse.
can't. Oh yeah.
Whatever the kids are doing, I don't know.
I'm sorry. How did that go?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
oh, very
I don't
now
know what they're
someone,
doing.
someone go ahead and GIF.
Remember we
and,
saw that
use it.
little kid
You're
doing
welcome.
that.
Yeah, there was a chick on the street. She set the phone in the mailbox, and I was like, "What is she doing?" And then she was like dancing, and I was like, "Damn, she's making TikTok. That's amazing."
I saw.
Oh, you saw
In
someone
the wild,
doing this.
we saw it. Yes.
You saw it in the wild.
They're walking down the street and they're doing this weird like walk like an Egyptian thing.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, and the first thing I thought to myself was,
They're doing it.
I'm old.
Oh yeah.
You're old. You
Yeah.
are. You're
30,
old. Dude.
34.
You're
I'm
old
an
now.
old man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a man.
Yep,
And
we're
so
old.
I'm like, what is she doing? And then I'm like, Lydia, what is this is weird. And
It's like she's looking at her phone.
Lydia, you're young and hip, you
said
know.
You said no, Lydia was
Yeah,
like,
I
she's
was
doing
like-
it. She's doing
I
a
was like,
TikTok.
look, she's looking at her phone. She's got it set there in the mailbox. That's
No,
what
no,
she's doing.
that was after. She was
Yeah.
walking down the street going like,
I didn't see that.
And
yeah, she's
I'm like, what is
Sorry,
happening?
it seemed like you needed music there.
I didn't understand. And then actually the other day, we were driving down the street, and down this road over here, I saw like some like young dudes, probably looked like they were in their teenagers, and they were doing something similar.
Yeah.
Like one guy was filming, and they were doing this weird thing. I'm like, is there a thing going on with
It's
TikTok
the
right now where
fad.
they're doing like the chicken dance or?
We
I'm
can't
old, man.
avoid it. I keep trying to avoid
Listen.
TikTok. You can't.
Listen, everybody. I'm 34 and I know not to try to pretend. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go
I will always act my age.
walk up to some 15-year-olds and be like, "What up, kids? I'm cool. I used to be no, sorry, dude. I'm a man. I'm going to go take care of the
Those
bills."
kids would totally think you're cool. Look at you skateboarding.
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
what I was thinking. I'm
You
like,
kidding?
yeah, but you still shred a
You rock
skateboard.
it. Oh my
so-
gosh.
Coming
If-
to you
listen.
soon, everyone.
Right,
We'll be
yeah,
What I'm
making
saying,
some skate
what I'm
videos.
saying is, I will absolutely skate and we can talk skateboarding, but I'm not going to pretend to understand or try to be
Act your
cool on
age.
TikTok.
Yeah.
So Joe Biden thinks he's being funny with these young guys, like, "Oh, I know how to." It wasn't even about youth. It was about him thinking he understood the black community and that he could speak in a way that would make them laugh.
Yeah.
And it didn't. It just made progressives and conservative members of the black community angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what was crazy to me.
Definitely.
Because I thought we were going to immediately see a bunch of lefty members of the black community being like, "No," or I'm sorry, I mean like, "Oh, Joe Biden's fine. It's fine. It's fine." Because
Yeah.
we saw Simone
I have
Sanders.
seen that a few people, like on Twitter, it's been like a war all day long.
Yeah.
Where he's losing and his side is losing. Most people are
Yeah.
pissed about this.
So I clicked the trending the hashtag.
Yeah.
Terrible
You know,
mistake.
Joe Biden is a racist.
Yeah.
And sure enough, most of the top posts were from black people. And so I was looking at some of them like, because I'm not going to pretend like I can speak for them or know their opinions.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, I got my opinion. If Joe Biden said something like that to me about my heritage and stuff, I'd be like, excuse me, bro? Like, are you going to actually tell me what you plan to do as a politician?
Yeah.
Or are you going to just deride me for like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, especially when Charlemagne wasn't even talking about that. He was
not.
like, no, I'm talking about real issues
Right.
for my community. Like,
Well,
what are you talking about?
Charlemagne
Yeah.
defended him too, I think.
Oh,
He
okay.
did, which was.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be. Look, I'm not going to pretend. I'm not going to be offended on his behalf.
That's
I
true.
don't care.
Charlemagne,
Yeah.
Charlemagne
If he's
did not
not-
seem offended. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
you know, whatever.
I'm not going to pretend to be offended, for somebody else. It's ridiculous.
Right.
I just think it's an example of Joe Biden being completely inept, and then Donald Trump selling these shirts shows they're geniuses. We got to talk about the Lincoln Project though.
Yes, we.
Okay, do you guys-
Oh my gosh, yes, we do.
How do I pull that up?
Can you pull up the
What's
tweet
the- what's
that you
the
tweeted
website?
out? Oh, here, let me go to your quick.
I'm going to take this time to smash that like button, everybody,
Yes.
and go ahead and share it if you think that we're worthy of sharing. And even if you don't think we're worthy of sharing, share it anyway to tell people how unworthy we are.
Yeah, there you
Thank
go.
you.
I like that.
I appreciate
I'll
that.
take it.
I appreciate you guys.
Did you find it, Tim?
I'm trying to, but
Alright,
are they
so
seriously
Lincoln.
blocking?
What
me?
is the Lincoln Project anyway? I don't know anything
This is
about
like a conservative anti-Trump thing.
it. Okay.
And
Yeah.
it is one of the best pro-Trump ads I have ever
It
seen.
is so amazing.
But it's anti-Trump.
Here it is,
Technically.
here
But
it
it's
is.
pro-Trump.
All right, we got
Okay,
this.
check this out.
Oh, yeah.
This is just another example that real Donald Trump is the worst manager America's ever seen. Don, you got conned by your IT guy. Okay, so all right, I'm gonna turn that down.
Yeah, yeah.
This is an ad talking about Brad Parscale, who I think he's the campaign manager of
Yeah, he
for
is,
Trump's
yeah.
campaign. And Brad is a genius.
Okay.
Like he's the one he's probably the one who did the t-shirts. He's probably like
Yeah,
get a
but he
t-shirt,
was.
get a
The
t-shirt.
Get 'em out
straws,
there.
T-shirts and Sharpies, yeah, for sure.
This video is like Brad is getting rich, but don't tell Donald. He's got 2 condos worth $1 million each. He's his very own yacht has a bunch of beautiful
Chicks
women.
in bikinis.
Chicks in bikinis
Seriously.
dancing on a boat. Look at this.
What?
His very own
yacht.
a gorgeous,
gorgeous red Ferrari.
I'm like, dude, I want to hang out with this guy.
Let
What
me
is
be Brad's friend.
What is this?
Please.
And so then it's like private planes. Oh my.
Oh my.
And then what is it? What like? Then the Lincoln Project.
Like, wait,
they're
what?
like, meet Brad Parscale, Trump's campaign manager.
It's weird. He kind of looks like my uncle.
Dude, they say they.
I know it's random, but
I watched this.
He's cool.
And I'm like,
my uncle is really cool.
There you
so
go.
I already like this guy a little more.
So
Yeah.
I'm watching this, and they say Trump can win without him. He's worth every penny or whatever.
Okay.
Beautiful women dancing, Ferraris, and I'm
got a
like, this is
Ferrari.
like one of the most epic pro-Trump ads I've ever seen. Every young guy in this country is going to be like, I want to work for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And so their goal with this is to their target market is Trump himself.
They
That
want to
bother
like
him.
they want to upset Trump. You think?
They want Trump to feel like they're making Brad look bigger than him.
Okay.
Like Trump has to feel they're trying to make Trump feel inadequate, I guess. But that, to me, that seems like they've been eating their own refuse, like the fake news about Trump and everything.
Yeah.
They keep seeing these things that they write to rile each other up, and then have this fake version of Trump in their heads, where they think Trump would actually fire a guy he made rich in the first place.
Yeah.
Now, hold on. I saw that and I thought to myself, there's a possibility Trump could do that.
True.
But I don't believe it.
I don't either.
Brad Parscale's been promoted, and if their argument is Trump made this guy rich, why would Trump be mad about that?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't Trump watch this and be like, yeah?
Heck yeah, come work for me.
Like, all right, Brad.
He learned
I'm
from the
proud of you.
best.
Look
proud
what
of
I
you.
can
Look what
do,
you
yeah.
look what you did because of me. Like he'd be
it's-
like, yeah, I did that. Trump
Yeah,
would probably
exactly.
loves it.
Look at this. Look what Cernovich said. Here's the response. If there is one lesson from 2016, it's that American voters will never vote for a rich guy who surrounds himself with beautiful women.
That is the takeaway here. Yes.
Yeah. Nice job, Lincoln
Great work,
Project.
Lincoln
That's insane
Project.
to me.
Did a good
Oh,
job.
Okay,
yeah.
we definitely got to get to super chats.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
All right.
Here.
Normally we go around 9, but we're just having too much fun. So
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna
And
make your
keep in mind, everybody, we have the jam space. Show the jam cam.
jam cam.
Jam cam is set up. We are going to be playing some music after the super chats, so just bear with us if you want to hear me and Tim.
Yeah,
jam-
Adam's gonna play a
jam out some
song.
music.
So I think we're still getting the space set up. We just did some redesigning real quick.
Yeah.
We're gonna
We'll have an official jam spot.
yeah, it's gonna be great. It's like a set, and then we'll actually have like friends come and jam. But Adam will play a song, I'll play a song, and that's gonna be after we're like kind of wrapped up.
Yeah, there we go.
But so make sure you stick around. And if you
Yeah.
haven't already, smash that like button, subscribe,
Yep.
share the podcast if you like it, and we are going to
Blaze through some super chats.
read some super chats for you guys. If you haven't
Yeah,
already, you
super
can
chat.
you can hop in. But I will say it's very likely that we'll get to a point where we just can't read all of them.
All right. Keep going.
Grim Soul says, so Back to the Future censored. Adam, they censored the scene where Marty finds the almanac and opens it to find Biff's nudie mag. It's trivial, but
Actually, I read about this.
hold on, there's more.
Oh, okay.
He says trivial, but scary that they're censoring it. Keep up the great work, breaking through the media. If you get banned from YouTube, you will have my support.
Well,
Oh, nice.
thank you for that, for
Very
one.
cool.
But I did read about this. I guess Netflix got the wrong version. So different countries has different Netflix, and I guess it was for a different country. It wasn't for the American public, which would have been the original Back to the Future 2. And I guess as of today, they've changed it to the original version, so it should be
They fixed
back
it.
to normal. They fixed it. So
Cool.
so Netflix got the wrong copy essentially.
Right on.
I haven't seen it. I can't confirm it, but I was reading about this earlier.
Right on. Christian says Trump deems churches essential. You think this is a 1A? You think this 1A stand is going to ultimately hurt the Dems? I'm sure it will help a little bit, especially with the evangelical and religious communities.
True.
Connor, thanks for joining.
Thank you.
IB Rippenham says Gavin Newsom has banned fart correspondents in California.
What?
But Trump defended our right
Shame.
to send as many fart chats as possible. Thank God for Trump.
Thank goodness.
Yep. Kyle Buchanan says, since professors were getting paid to send research back to China, do you think some of these governors could be in China's pockets as well? I don't know if I would go that far, but I would say I wouldn't be surprised if we found out high-ranking people were
I wouldn't be
somehow on the
surprised.
take. Somehow
Yeah.
on the take,
Mm-hmm.
Michael, thanks for the super chat. Annoyed Moderate says Rogan and Pac-Man were asking who gets to make the rules to censorship on big tech and how it is difficult to decide. It's actually very simple. It's called the First Amendment. So frustrating to watch. Yeah, the challenge is they are private businesses and they've become monopolized to the point where they're essentially utilities. And if our discourse is dominated by these platforms that have monopolized the space, then there's a real argument for us needing these protections. But I admit there are serious implications that are challenging. It's actually the First Amendment that protects them from having to host our speech.
Yep.
The argument is they're a private company and they have a First Amendment right to freely speak, and you can't compel someone to say something. SDFU says Fauci is the scientific equivalent of a cuckoo bird. Peter Coyle says your marketing campaign works on me, a YouTuber. I like goes live at 7 also, but because I can watch the full video after I go here. Cool. Archerable says, ever heard of the town of Pecatonica, Illinois? It's between Rockford and Freeport. I grew up there. Nice small town. I haven't.
Cool.
I
I've
think
been to Rockford.
I think I've been to Rockford once. People like skating there.
Right on.
David says, hey, Adam, what do you think about raising kids vegan?
I mean, it's all about giving them the nutrients they need. So I have friends that were raised vegan that had never eaten meat or dairy their whole life, and I thought they were crazy because I wasn't vegan at the time. This is when I was in high school, years and years ago. And they're healthy human beings. They were healthy. They were the same size as me. They did sports just the same. And so I mean, as I know that there's people out there that don't know how to be vegan that claim, oh man, being vegan made me sick, and they only ate bananas.
Yeah,
and that's all they ate was just bananas. And it's like, what are you doing? So if you do it right, if you do it correctly, there's nothing wrong with it.
Did somebody super chat us for the UFO? Is that what happened? I see a lot of demands for the UFO.
Oh, I don't know. Let me see.
Well, I'll leave that to you, Adam. You if you see it pop up, but I'll read some more super chats.
Okay.
David says, it's complicated, mug. I mean, we could definitely do that. That'd be great. Morning coffee. Zachary says, sometime between May 9th and today, Facebook must have lifted the Voldemort restriction. Perhaps this coincides with the Rogan Wars. Look into it.
Interesting.
I will try posting.
We're not going to risk it, though.
Not on here.
Nope.
Let's see. Heavy Arm Sky says, love you guys. Still waiting on the soy Jesus riding a skateboard with a kitten and puppy shirt. Make it a sewn emblem on a beanie, and I'll buy that too. I mean, I'm down for sure.
That's awesome.
I like that.
Cordy says, I seem to miss every other stream and always get mad at myself for missing it. Too caught up in video games. That's okay, though. Aaron says, so TimcastIRL will have exclusive access to Lydia and Emily's OnlyFans? Definitely not.
Nope, never
But
gonna happen.
Emily doesn't have anything to do with this. She's doing Scanner. So
$6 million.
I haven't even seen her in months because they've been doing field reporting. But they're gonna own it for sure. Wolfsbane says, hey Tim, have y'all considered selling custom decks? I would love to buy a Lydia themed board or a beanie board.
Hey, that's
Maybe-
smart.
Are you going to drop it?
What?
Whatever you're about to say.
I'm the same conversations I'm having with the beanies. I might be able to get them to do boards.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I'm gonna ask them because they told me, is there anything you think? And I'm like, that would
very cool.
streamline production for us. Very
That'd be
easy.
So cool.
It'd be a weird thing. We'll figure it out. Could you imagine if you go to like one of our videos and then below it, YouTube actually shows beanies, skateboards, and the shirts, and you can click it and just like get it?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think for a lot of people, the boards would be like art pieces because they're awesome to hang up.
Yeah, true.
But like, I'd make a
I
legit
mean,
board.
look at that shirt. Can
wait,
we get a
here.
cut to Lydia's shirt?
Here we go.
Look at this shirt. Harumph, I say. That shirt is great.
Do you want your very own Harumph I Say shirt?
Of course you
Click
do.
the link in the description
That's
below.
Down
right.
below in the merch section.
Boom.
It's there.
Actually, I think we can set it up so that it actually appears below the stream next time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we'll
Oh,
start
the
figure-
shirt itself?
Yeah, so you can actually see it.
Oh,
It'll
Oh, perfect.
We've
Add
got
a
it-
spin the
we've got a
UFO
super
request.
chat
Yeah.
for a
to
UFO.
spin the UFO.
All right,
That's
you
right.
do that. We'll read. Graf von Tyrrell says, now we got really loud background noise. I said some time back that H3H3 versus Keemstar Showdown was a glorious shipwreck. Now I regret saying that. In fact, I rather horrified at the implications and what it means for YouTube as a whole. I don't really know what's going on between them. I know that Keemstar was trending nationwide in the US a couple days ago. That was weird. I was like, Keem, why is he trending? IB Rivetum says, fart sight is 2020. You know it. Ben Lowry, if what the economists are saying about NY and Californians being displaced, how long do you think it'll be before our electoral college swings one way? 2024?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I don't know. When's the next census? It's every 10 years, right?
I'm not sure. Let me look it up.
I don't know.
So
I
weird.
have no idea.
So weird.
I do know that the 20-year or 17-year cicadas are coming soon.
Oh no.
Really?
Yeah, we'll do a segment on it. It's pretty
Cool.
cool.
Cicada apocalypse.
Christian says censorship in Polish national radio due to anti-government song being top 1 on charts. People from radio resigning. Government saying charts were hacked. Wow.
Whoa.
Crazy. Andrew Levin says, joke time. A dwarf who is a mystic escaped from prison. A call went out that there was a small medium at large.
I appreciate that.
Also, go on EFAP. You massive. I don't know what that is. The Unknown Millennial says, Wisconsin 7th checking in. Just bought 12 chickens, a Rock River Arms LAR-15, and a Beretta 40 cal ready for the collapse.
Woo.
I like the chickens part a whole lot. I would like to have some chickens. We had some chickens in Miami. It was awesome. Wake up in the morning, walk out, grab a couple eggs, walk in, crack them up, eat them. It was great.
They were pretty cool.
Yeah, and then the neighbors' cats and dogs started killing them.
I think it was the dogs. The stray dogs in the neighborhood.
And
Yeah.
we caught one of the dogs because we didn't know what it was at first, and we put up a trap.
Oh, really?
dog.
I don't remember
Yeah.
that.
No, actually, I don't know if you. I think you were there. Maybe you left.
I don't know.
We didn't know what it was.
Yeah, I was gone. I went to Sweden
Something
for a
was
while.
going after the chickens. So I was like, coyote maybe or something. The next door neighbor's dog was sneaking in.
Wow.
And then I come outside, and in the cage, he was sitting there like busted. And so he was snarling at me, and then I talked him down and then opened him, and he ran off. Never came back. Yeah, he learned his lesson. Stop messing with my chickens. Bad dog.
Bad dog.
All right, where we at? Joey Giggles says, so does the gym owners past in New Jersey matter to the current situation? I try to get these people to talk without emotion, and it's not working.
It's really hard to do that.
It's a smear. They want them. They're targeting their past to smear them. John Smith says, "Hey Tim, have you seen the Dankula versus Vosh debate? Vosh is the most obnoxious sophist I've ever seen. Also, any thoughts on the H3 Keemstar drama? I have not seen the Dankula thing
Drama.
or the H3 thing. I haven't seen either." Columbus says, "Beanie Patrol into house. You know it."
Yep.
From Connor, U.S. policy and culture bleeds into the rest of the West. If you guys open up, hopefully it will inspire other world leaders. Maybe that's why, Fauci waited.
Yeah, that's a good point.
From Tom, Zootopia, spoiler warning. A Disney movie about government manufactured hysteria. Yep.
Never seen it.
Arctorian says, yes, made it somewhat on time today. Evening chat and evening Beanie Boys and Techno Lady. Yes.
Correct.
Techno Lady. Techno Lydia.
That's me.
Eric
Techno Lydia.
asks, will the MSM accuse Fauci of Russian collusion? Nope. Now it's going to be a panic because, like, what do you do? Fauci came out. It's like,
Yeah.
what are you going to say?
They don't have any more arguments.
Yep. The Grizzly, well, here's a response. The Grizzly says the left won't listen to Fauci. I think you're naive to believe so. Given how the left has been largely ignoring anything that does not adhere to their beliefs, I don't think they're going to stop until they are forced.
Yeah.
That's
possible.
the weirdest thing. You know, the craziest thing to me was when we went to the gym, and there was this, it's like middle-aged woman wearing a Trump hat, and she was talking about all this stuff, and I was like, she surprisingly knew a lot about what was going on.
Yeah, she really paid attention.
But she did think some things that were clearly like,
Ridiculous.
yeah, Bill
Yeah.
Gates over the top stuff.
Yeah.
But
It's
that's-
getting to be commonplace.
This is what I've said about the pitfalls of the right and the pitfalls of the left. The left won't read the news, so they don't know anything, and the right reads too much, and they start falling into these these pit traps where it's like
Yeah.
fake news.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mavros says, got my booster box of Magic in the mail. Really happy about white blue bird support in Ikoria.
Yes.
Got a full art in our set. Nice.
Ooh,
Pretty
very
early.
nice. Yeah,
we just cracked open some
we
boxes
just
of
did.
Ikoria,
Yeah, it was fun.
and I'm excited for the red blue and the red blue white.
I got a Space Godzilla.
Ooh,
Space
the
Godzilla.
best Godzilla.
Nick B says $5 to grab Tim's hat off his head.
Nope.
That is nowhere near.
Not doing it.
Add
I can't
five
reach.
zeros
I
to
value
the
my
end of that.
life.
I can't reach it.
Yeah, no.
Super Bam Bam says, hey, Tim, found out that a couple of my coworkers filed for unemployment while still working for the company.
Woo.
They are already receiving money from the government.
Whoa.
WTF is this world?
What? I thought
Yeah.
that's not possible because don't they have to like coordinate with the business that they were working at?
Maybe they're overloaded.
City cracks.
It's chaos. But
Ah.
the AP reported that like hundreds of millions went out in fraudulent claims.
Wow.
Yep.
Gosh. No surprise.
Bandit says, finally on vacation and can watch the show live. Here's some money. Appreciate it, good
Nice.
sir.
Welcome.
Rabbit Kitten says, you must check out Ping Trip's new video with Tim and Joe Rogan. It's hilarious, masterfully edited. Is that the one where
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, my videos get millions of views?
Yes.
I
That's hilarious.
retweeted it
I was
just
like, yeah,
before
we
the
do
show.
have
We
to
were
address
we were
that.
dying laughing.
Dude,
It's
it's
so
amazing.
it's so funny.
The stream is done. Cuts
So,
off.
it's so
love
good.
Brilliant.
Oh man.
Rabbit
man.
Kitten said, we just read that one. Clink Clank says, Tim, sell us some food, and when YouTube tries to ban you, claim that y'all are an essential business and cannot be shut down.
I like
That's
this.
Right?
This is good.
Grafon Tyrrell says, petulant child accuses Trump of being a petulant child, threatens Ford while still not letting go of the barber. Good luck enforcing the shutdown of churches now, Karen. Karen.
Yeah.
What's so we were having an earlier debate over what a group of Karens is called.
Oh yeah.
I like
Yeah.
because someone called them a privilege of Karens,
I love it.
That's good.
and so I'm like,
it's
a
really
group
good.
of Karens is called a privilege. I love that, a privilege.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess there was like a complaint. You
Yep,
said
a complaint of Karens. I called it The View initially.
The
which is
View.
Just a bunch of Karens sitting around in a circle.
It's pretty good.
a complaint. Is
And now
good.
there's the real view. Did you hear about that?
What was that?
It's the right
oh, the
view.
right wing view.
Oh,
Yeah.
The right side.
view. Yeah.
They came up and there were a bunch of like MAGA women that are like, we gotta set the View is supposed to represent all women, and they totally don't.
Yeah.
So we're here
you-
to set them straight. It's pretty funny.
Didn't Jon Stewart apologize? Because like I could be wrong about this. He attacked Tucker Carlson over Crossfire.
What's Crossfire?
It was
is that
a
his
show
show?
where they had a liberal and a conservative debate
Oh, okay.
stuff, And then
Cool.
apparently Jon Stewart said it was like WWE American Gladiators or something and attacked it.
Okay.
And then I could be wrong about this, but like I could have sworn I heard a story where he apologized for it and saying he was wrong actually, because now you only have ridiculous partisan media where no one talks to
Yeah.
each other.
Hmm.
How amazing would it be if you actually had? Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, I'm walking this back. There is a show called Rising on Hill TV with
Okay.
Crystal Ball and Sagar and Jetty, and he's a conservative
Yeah.
and she's a progressive,
Yep.
and they're honest and fair, and they have it's an amazing show.
They're a
Sounds
great
really good.
show,
Yep,
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
why it's doing so well and everyone loves it.
Right on.
Because like if you're a progressive, the craziest thing was to hear the socialists praising Sagar and Jetty, who's conservative,
Okay.
because they're like, he's honest about the populist issues and what the left wants and everything. He just disagrees. That's respectable.
Yep, I dig that.
But then you turn on The View, and you get weird nonsense.
I got to be honest, I've never seen The View,
Thank God
Yeah,
I
you're
haven't
lucky.
either.
and I won't
Just little
see The
clips
View
of
ever.
Never. Mm-mm.
Let's read some more
It's not
super
gonna
chats.
happen.
Anto says Seattle is being forced to wear face masks. A lot of places are.
Yep.
Shane, thanks for the super chat. Sean says, have you seen the EFAP podcast? I have not. Flood says, Trump, I say. You know it. Thanks for the super chat.
It's actually Charumph.
Trump.
Yes.
Trump. Quiet guitarist fan. Last week, Lydia said that she was a little to the right. How so? Also, book recommendations for you during this time are anything Brandon Sanderson, really dope author. Lydia is queen of stoicism. Snyder Cut 2021. BVS Ultimate Edition.
I've read all his stuff.
Oh,
I
really?
was already read all of it.
I've read everything he's
well, there you
written.
go. What the
heck?
So you're
I'm waiting for he's writing a series right now. It's really, really good. I'm just waiting for those to come out.
And what about Lydia? You're right.
That's true. I'm probably the furthest right of anybody on this podcast because I am pro-life.
Whoa. Probably.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But
I'm
that's
pro-life.
that's cultural right wing.
Yeah. So I'm also like
Economically right.
economically conservative. I love Rand Paul. I liked Ron Paul. I like Thomas Massey and Dan Crenshaw and stuff. So yeah, I'd be right.
Rand Paul just gets my my figurative vote because he's principled. It's
Yeah.
like to see somebody, it's like I may disagree with some of the things he brings up, but man, you can tell the guy's being honest about why he believes it and what he's fighting for.
Honesty in politics?
Seriously.
Really?
Yeah,
But you
it's
know,
really
so is
so
his-
rare.
Wow.
It was
Yeah.
funny. I remember the Ron Paul stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember like everyone being like, Ron Paul's the best. And I like watched a segment from him where he was very pro-life and very religious. And I'm like, I do not agree with any of this. But I was like, I actually agree. Like the libertarian stance, the government shouldn't do these things. I'm like, what can I say, man?
Yeah.
The dude's being honest. We can disagree. We have a conversation about it. I don't
Yep.
think I'm the smartest person in the world. I think it's the people who demand they be the smartest people in the world. It's the weird. It's like I think that's it. I think that's a lot of it. People who think they're smarter than everyone else.
People who think they can decide what should be said.
It's that saying, stupid people are so sure of themselves, but smart people are so full of doubt.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're like, it's yeah. And then there's the other thing. It's the only thing I know is I know nothing.
Yeah.
It's like when you actually explore the world and research and read, you realize how little you truly
Holy
know.
cow, I don't know anything.
And it makes you more reserved where you're like, I could be wrong about
It's
that.
humbling.
Yeah.
True.
JP says, any possible way you can list the sources of the stories in the description as you talk about them so we can read along? There was an issue about that. We talked about this before, that YouTube restricts content if it links off of the platform.
Oh.
They've argued it's not true. I think YouTube specifically said they won't do that, but I don't know if I believe them.
Okay.
Because Facebook has as well. The idea is anything that promotes leaving their sites.
They don't like.
Yeah, and so
That
there
makes sense.
have been people who have done videos where they're like, hey, I'm going to be doing a live stream later over at Twitch. Check me out. And then YouTube strikes them down. So what I do is I have the URL visible but not clickable so you can still see it.
Yeah.
It's like a compromise, I guess. Chris Eggleton says, hey, you used my t-shirt idea. It looks great. It does look great. Sebastian Garcia says, shut up and take my money. We already did. Real Dan says, happy World Goth Day, y'all. Play some IMX during the jam session. I mean, I
yeah.
actually can play Spit It Out by IMX.
But
I don't think we can play covers.
Yeah.
We'll have to look into it. I think you actually can. But
Yeah. Actually, someone was. This has been a debate for almost a month now, and someone actually hit me up today saying there's all these people that do live streams playing covers
Yeah.
on YouTube, so it's happening.
Right.
I don't know if they're are as popular as what we've now become. So like, I don't want to be. We just got our blue check mark. I don't know if it's going to be
Gray check mark.
Oh, is it gray?
It's a gray check mark.
Oh, sure.
the better
Eh.
kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, gray. Greater
I think
than.
I think I just haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure we can.
We should check
Yeah.
because I wouldn't mind playing some covers. I've got a few
Yeah.
covers.
Yeah,
I got to
really-
play Country Roads for everybody. Everybody
Yeah,
wants to hear me play it.
seriously.
I learned the song.
I've heard
I
this
can play
version. It is fantastic.
it. Oh, thank
One
you.
of my favorite covers to play is Spit It Out by IMX.
Nice.
He's got really dirty song names.
Yeah, I
to say the
was
least.
gonna say.
Columbus says, Beanie Patrol in the house. You know it.
Yep.
Zach Shad says, Tim, you saved my life about 7 months ago. Sorry, I can't send more. I'll PM Adam my phone number if you want to know the whole story. Sure.
Or just send me the story.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if it's a long story.
This is my handle. You can hit me up on Twitter or Instagram
At
or,
Adam Krigler.
or YouTube. But Twitter's definitely the easiest place to get at me.
At Adam Krigler.
Yep.
Krigler. Because some people might just be listening in the background.
Right. Thanks.
All right, let's see. Nick says, what are your thoughts on the latest surveillance acts that passed through the Senate, allowing the FBI to access anyone's browser history without a warrant? Is there a way to reclaim our 4A rights? So my understanding is that bill was already passed, and the Democrats wanted to revoke that right, and it was mostly Democrats voting to remove it, with some Republicans agreeing.
Yep.
And then mostly Republicans saying keep the power.
Yeah.
But then there was another a FISA expansion bill, where it was a bipartisan effort to support the violation of our Fourth Amendment rights. I love it. David says, move to Syracuse, NY. Ninja'd Amazon from NYC. Drone capital of the world. Skate park by lake and vegan friendly. Joints and me Dave Dave show you the town. Oh, okay. The Grizzly says, been shooting since I was 8. Jesus, what makes these idiots think they can make laws on guns? It's the weirdest thing.
Yep.
John Smith says, no wonder Egypt can't take Israel. That's in reference to the poor muzzle control.
Right.
Yeah, and trigger discipline. Two River says, Adam, what's your favorite Wheel of Time book?
Oh, well, that's I don't know. I mean, there's 14 of them. Honestly, probably the last one, because I remember reading. I mean, I've read these books. I got the first book when I was 21, so 15 years ago I started reading this book series, and I mean, it's been a long time. And the end, I knew Robert Jordan wrote himself. So Brandon Sanderson was given the end. He actually spent the last year of Robert Jordan's life working with Robert Jordan to help him, get ready to write the rest of the story. But Robert Jordan wrote the end by himself. So he already had it written. So when I read the last book, I could tell the nuances in Robert Jordan's writing versus Brandon Sanderson's writing. And it was really exciting to read Robert Jordan's words again, and something about the end, it was such an amazing series, and it was incredible. So that the end scene, everything about that last book was awesome, and it makes me want to reread the series just thinking about it.
Do it.
The next part, Lady of Whiterun, what would be your preferred superpower?
Ooh,
Superpower.
good one.
I think I would like to be able to read people's minds.
Ooh, interesting.
yeah.
Scary, but
I would understand people better.
as we're talking about surveillance.
Yeah.
I would only use it for good.
I would like surveillance.
You
Yes,
wouldn't be allowed to work for the
that's what
government.
They all say.
Yeah, I know.
This one's really easy. Tim, why so fixated on Eastern time? It's because more than half of the population of the U.S. lives on the East Coast or on Eastern time. And so in terms of effective business operations, you operate on Eastern time. This is true for even YouTubers in Los Angeles. Some of them wake up at like 4 a.m. so they can wake up in sync with Eastern because that's the market.
Ah.
Yeah, so
That's what I assumed. Someone asked me
Yep.
on Twitter, and I was like, I think it's just because he's in tune with the news. Like he wakes up and he's already
Right.
tackling things that are
you
happening.
also have all these journalists writing stories that are on East Coast time. So the
Right.
news
Yeah.
is you want to.
You're with it as it's
So
breaking.
I'd have to wake up at 4 a.m. if I was in LA.
Oh, we did that. It was horrible.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you guys were in LA for a couple days.
Caboose says, "Hey Tim, recite the 4 rules of firearm safety." I don't know them. Do you? Does anybody?
I
I
don't.
do not. Ooh,
Someone can super chat
I
him.
may have forgotten them.
Louis Vasquez says, "Listen to your talks during workout every day. Getting fit with Tim. Thank you. Awesome."
Nice.
Steven Suarez says, "Is Lydia also a vegan, or does she appreciate a good steak?"
I eat a lot of steak. I lost a bunch of weight, and I did it by being low carb, and that
Ooh.
involves a lot of meat and a lot of cheese, so I was never vegan.
Toby, thanks for the super chat. Peter George says, "Navy boot camp, pistol quals. I was astonished to see bullet holes and marks on the floor, walls, ceiling. Some people should not handle guns." Yeah.
Wow.
The One says, "It seems the Democrats are intentionally destroying their chances this year to put blame on far-left politics, so come next election season, they can silence them and return to a more moderate stand." Maybe. I think they're going to get wiped out, though, and the progressives will take over.
Yeah.
Patrick says, "Philly Democrats have been caught cheating in elections. That's it. I've had it with these mother-loving snakes on this mother-loving plane, Trump 2020. I did a video about it for my main channel. They got caught cheating. And also in North Jersey, people's mail-in ballots disappeared. And then the apparently voter rolls claimed that they voted, and they were like, we didn't get to vote. Our ballots never came. And one of their relatives was in Florida for several weeks.
Yeah.
So who voted in their name? Yup. And Governor Murphy refused to answer a question about it. 2 days later said, we're doing vote by mail.
Interesting.
That's insane. Absolutely
Not
insane.
like Jersey.
It's messed up.
Evil Morty says, Washington State not allowed to worship, governor says. Yeah, that's right. James Wilson says, just because I'm pedantic, your wide-shot Twitter names are 2 different levels of brightness, and I can't stop seeing it. Is that purposeful?
Oh.
It's the
'cause
shine.
one has more light on.
Yeah, it's the shine on
Yeah.
the
It's the
side.
studio lights. Dude Guy McPant says, avid shooter, weapon designer, and licensed arms dealer.
Oh, cool.
When this is all over, I would love to talk with you all about firearms.
Cool.
That'd be
Follow
fun.
at Adam Krigler on Twitter.
Hit me up.
Because he is the main point of contact for all this
Yeah.
stuff.
You could probably hit up Sour Patch Lids too.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can
yeah.
always hit me up.
Sour
My-
Patch Lids,
my
LYDS.
PMs are
Yeah,
always
flash
open.
over there.
Wait here. It is right here.
Boom.
We are going to
yeah.
have to start speeding up because we are not even halfway through.
Oh, wow.
Super chats
Oh,
are just
no.
coming, and
Okay.
you guys rock. We love you. The super chats are amazing, and I'm sorry if we can't get to you, but it's like we've only gotten through 11 minutes of super chats in the past 25 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Gosh,
That's
okay.
amazing.
Okay.
You guys are great.
And I don't want to just.
I love you guys.
I don't want to just read them as fast as possible, like a speed reading.
I got
too.
this. I got this. I love you guys.
Yes.
There
You
we
guys
go.
are great. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Zachary says your square panels in the back look like the containment rooms in the video game Control. The beanie is an object of power. Pandemic is an AWE. All right.
I don't know that game.
Me neither. Charlie says the vegan taco shop I work for is opening next week. Can't wait to get back to it. Come visit us in Massachusetts, y'all. Free Tempe taco. How do you pronounce that? Tempe.
Tempeh. Yeah.
Tempe tacos on me.
Oh, that sounds
Oh,
so
snap.
good. Yeah, I went to Austin to visit a friend of mine in Texas, and we went to this bar, and it was great. You know, I was having a good time. He's like, "Oh, you want to go get some tacos?" I'm like, I don't know if they'll have anything for me. He's like, "Bro, just come." And I'm like, "All right." So we walk back, and there's like 3 different taco trucks. He's like, "Yeah, which one do you want?" I'm like, "What do you mean, which one? Like, which one can I have?" And he's like, "They're all vegan." I'm like, "Yes."
Cool.
They were so good.
Super Bam Bam says, hey, Tim, with you speaking about pew pew machines, would you ever accept a sponsorship from a company that manufactures, distributes, sells firearms? Maybe in time, because one of the problems I have with like the salespeople who want to, have me do ads is like I have to know it, use it, and really believe in it.
Agreed.
You're never going to see me do an ad. Like I got a video game company reached out to me and offered me an insane amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, what do you think, Adam? And you were like, this game is bad. And I was like, we're not doing it.
Yeah, I was like, I looked at the game.
Don't say it, though. Don't say the name.
I'm not going to say the
Yeah.
name, but I know mobile games, and it was not a good. It wasn't. It was
Yeah.
just. It wanted your money. It wanted you to be hooked for a little bit to get some money out of you, and that's that. There's a lot of those games.
Yep.
They're out there, and I can't stand those
I've
games.
had casino games, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, no.
No, I have to really like it. And, the people, the money people don't like that because they want me to advertise everything.
Respect.
That's right.
Virik says, hey, guys, what's your take on the Epoch Times? Do you feel they're trustworthy?
I don't know it.
To an extent, yes, but they're Falun Gong, I believe, right?
Yeah.
What does that
I believe
mean?
so.
They're very, very
Based in
anti-China.
China.
Oh, okay.
And so what you need to understand about them is, for the most part, their stories seem to be pretty good. NewsGuard seems to hate them. And they're very biased against China.
CCP seems to hate them.
Oh, definitely.
So make of that what you will.
I've
they-
been seeing ads for them on our page.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We'll see
Yeah,
ads for
I
them
think so,
before.
yeah.
They're okay. NewsGuard gives them a bad rating. I've used them several times. I think as long as you know their bias, you know what you're getting.
Okay.
In my experience, they'll likely give you a more positive view of Trump because Trump is anti-China. But it doesn't mean that they're writing anything that's fake or wrong or anything like that. It's just the same as Vox. You know Vox is biased. You know what to look for. Betafastis Chipa says, government, cops, soldiers, FBI, CIA, auto rifles, snipers, RPG drones, armored trucks, tanks, citizens, pistols, and semi-rifles if lucky. How much power imbalance before tyranny is literally inevitable? I don't think that matters because the amount of people that are not in the government. Ritson says, I got a new hat and it's depressing. Bummer.
That sucks.
Kellen Wagner says, Tim, I think we need to implement a mandatory firearms safety, ethics, and etiquette course for all young Americans. If we have the right to bear arms, we should have the right to proper public education of their use and how to keep them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dig
Good
it.
idea.
Yeah.
It's a good argument. I think, when it comes to funding public things through taxpayer money, you have a lot of, you have to work through. Tristan says, I work for a fishing resort on Vancouver Island. Many rich folk from the West Coast, U.S. come for summer. I fly from Ontario. Long flight, $800 later, and airline only gives credit, no refund. Any advice? Not really.
No
I
idea.
have no idea. Dean says, what's the name of the gluten-free sourdough you mentioned the other day? It's been 2 weeks since I've had any half-decent bread. This will probably be enough for you to buy another loaf.
Do I have to pitch it again?
It's Char, right?
Yeah, it's Char.
S-C-H-A-R.
Mm-hmm. The A has an umlaut. It's gluten-free.
Yeah.
Sourdough.
It's on Amazon.
Yeah.
Ground Floor Guthrie says, Facebook didn't suppress my post of your video on leaving New Jersey, but I lost 7 friends. I was called stupid, and you were called a conspiracy theorist.
Huh.
It's really funny that me reading CBS News is conspiracy theories, but I guess, you know, you can believe what you want.
Weird.
Just Deluxe says, try again. You 3 are great. Don't ever change. Appreciate it.
We won't.
Steve Hidalgo says, I am happy I left NY. I wish you these best in everything the Beanie crew do. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Agent Toon says, you should look into Southwest Ohio. You may like the Yellow Springs, northeast of Dayton, 20 minutes from Ryer Pat AFB, Air Force Base, and where Chappelle moved to, or Loveland or Milford, northeast of Cincinnati. There's a really, really massive building in West Virginia, really close to Pittsburgh. You know, it's like the north part of West Virginia. We'll see what happens. Trent says, what do y'all think is the end game for the deep state, aka elite, aka establishment? There seems to be a populist movement that I assume will grow. What if any government moves will take place to end antitrust movement? I don't know what the end game is. I think they just want to maintain their power. And I think it's mostly about people who think they're smarter than everybody else. That's about it. The joke I made on Rogan that I often make is that the Galactic Federation won't allow us to join because we're ruled by, you know, it's a multi-governmental planet.
Yeah.
And Joe was like, I don't think there's a Galactic Federation. Like, I know.
I'm just
I'm
joking.
But it's you know.
I think the end comes from people right now, actually. It's people seeing and being unhappy with what's going on and then becoming political and wanting to actually have something change.
You know,
and I think there's a hint of that right now.
Bread and circuses, man.
What is that?
Bread and circuses.
I don't know.
When
what do you mean?
It's so to distract the public from politics so they don't interfere, you give them bread and you send them to the circus.
That was Cicero.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So now that people are getting more active in politics because of social media,
Yep.
it's breaking apart.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lou Gianite says, hey, Tim, I live in California, and I can say Dems here are deficient at best. Complete incompetent scam artists at worst. I mean, all you have to do is look at our Congress or Pelosi. Great content. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Eric Mancius. Can we talk about the authoritarian Nazis? Telling on their fellow Americans. Sure, that's what the Germans did. It's the funniest thing that they don't understand this, but I guess when people aren't smart enough to understand, they just bleat like sheep. William says, sex is now outlaw for your protection. We have so many virus, disease, and illnesses. We must stop until we can cure them. All the other diseases. Tristan says, Tim, what do you think on Canada signing another deal with the Saudis selling them armored trucks? There are videos of them attacking Yemen with the same vehicles, but with mounted turrets on them.
I don't know anything
These
about
things
it.
happen. I don't know.
International conflict, foreign policy is so ridiculously complicated. And you know, I know it's funny that people always say it's complicated when I talk about it, but it's like, dude, if I tried to pretend like I could tell you what the right moves are more than half the time, it's lying. These people are lying. When these people make videos or commentary and they're like, this is what they really should do, it's like, dude, you have no idea all the intricate pieces that are connected to each other in this.
Yeah.
I think America tends to do stupid things, though.
Yeah.
What is this? Aaron H. says, Jack was on Joe Rogan Experience twice, but Joe never asked him about the 900-pound gorilla in the room, shady hiding of content. Neither did you. Why not? I don't know if that's a reference to, but if it's a reference to banning people, I thought that was the gist of the conversation. Shadow banning? I'm pretty sure that came up, too, with, was it Ronna McDaniel getting shadow banned?
I don't know.
I thought it did. STFU says, Fauci holds a finger to the wind before deciding to poop. Oh, yeah. Theo Fander says, I live in L.A. I got 2 ballots in the mail. One to my parents' address and one to mine. I didn't know which one to use, so I used both. I was also just sent a voter registration form for my 9-year-old form covered CA. Seriously.
Wow.
Yep.
Shady
Some
business.
people will vote twice. Jimmy Lawrence says, hi, Tim. So now that Bernie Sanders is out of the race and Joe Biden basically killed his campaign, will you vote for Trump now? Well, if you've been watching the show over the past several weeks, I've said I am leaning that direction. It seems more likely, and Trump is the best for the economy. Adams outright said yes.
Yeah, I'm going to vote for him.
For me, I'm leaning that direction. We'll see what happens. There's still a lot that can change. I milk those fence sitter. What do you expect?
Living up to your name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tradick says, Alex Austin Stierna said in the 1600s, what is this? I'm not, it means, don't you know, my son, how little wisdom the world is governed. Quite fitting for today. Oddball Gaming says, don't trend on me was the rally flag for South Carolina militia in the Revolution War. Interesting. Like Fry says, soy plus barbarian. Adam the Soybarian. Evildoers, this is a soy man you should fear. From the people that brought us Soy Jesus versus Soylent Green Ninjas, we bring you a tale of a soy-eating barbarian and his two axes of justice. Adam the Soybarian.
My axes of justice. Yes. I love that.
That's awesome.
Like Fry, thank you for that.
Drunk Shovel says, don't let them take our American slogans. Don't tread on me. Clickety-clack, GTF back. Mm-hmm. Trent says, on the libertarian front, I think I'm on the Dave Smith approach. It's not that all of a sudden the country is libertarian. It's people adopt the idea of libertarianism not being forced. Track media only. 66% that stayed home got infected. In other news, many people were in lockdown while still going out to get food at least once a week. And even when not in lockdown, normally most people eventually go home. Uriel and Omni, thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Uriel says, today's show is brought to you by the letter T and viewers like you. Thank you.
It's
you
so
know
true.
it.
It's so true.
Wolfalt De Leon says, November 1st, 2017, my fellow Americans, over the next several days, you will undoubtedly realize that we are taking back our great country, the land of the free, from tyrants that wish to do us harm. Nazox says, Tim, do you believe that with stimulus money being sent out, it will cause an economic resurgence leading to more people becoming investors? UBI equals VAT on luxury, cannabis, psychedelics, tech services. I don't think so. I think that implies there's going to be excess wealth and disposable income. But what people need to understand about UBI or any kind of direct payments to people is that the value of money is rooted in a bunch of different things. One of those is which the cost of is rooted partly in the lowest cost of human labor. So if you have to pay $1 for every apple that's plucked from a tree, that means you have to sell the apple for more than $1. If you raise the cost of pulling the apple from a tree to $2, now the apples must cost more than $2. So the lowest level of skill, the day laborer who picks apples, if you have a really high minimum wage, then apples all go up in price. Then apple pies are more expensive. Then apple cake, anything that uses apples, everyone who eats apples, it just makes everything go up immediately.
Yeah, and that's just apples.
People don't realize the economy isn't necessarily so much about the money, although it does play a huge role. It's how much do we value the individuals, and then how does that ripple up through how money works. So, it's a complicated question, I suppose. The Art of the Real, thanks to the super chat. Attitude and action, thank you. Jabberwolf says, well-regulated meant well-functioning, and definitions do matter when laws are written. This is one of the functions of the Supreme Court, to ensure that laws are enforced with the correct intent. Exactly. Well-functioning, well-regulated. Zechariah says, the Second Amendment wording came from Virginian law stating that the equipment that each household was supposed to own, i.e. how much shot, how much powder. Crowder did a special last 4th of July on it. Check it out. Right, that's basically, I think, what I was trying to get at. Zip Ties says, I've heard that well-regulated meant well-trained and or well-organized. Exactly. Latsies Online. In regard to population density, Japan does this NP. In regards to contact tracing app, it sounds like data brokers in Maniac on Netflix. Farmer Hank says, I am an ND resident. The worst thing about it is that if you refuse to comply with contact tracing, you can end up spending a month in jail or be fined. Whoa!
What?
Don't go to North Dakota. Yikes.
Jeez.
Ryan says, watch The Patriot. It's eerie how you can see the similarities between the people against the revolution and people today against opening up neighbor, turning on neighbor. Yes, I just watched The Patriot. It was awesome. Seen it many times.
I gotta watch that movie.
Bobcat says, as far as these data harvester, for less than the cost of a decent date in Philly, I could make them think Lids is in 6 different parts of the city at once. They don't sanity check their data. Yeah, there's a lot of GPS spoofers. Furby says, contact tracing would be used to implicate you in crimes more than actually solving them. It's part of the 5A video. Just placing you there opens the door. Government with unlimited funds, you stand little chance. Lunger. Easy fix. Don't take your tech when you are planning or committing a crime. Leave it at a bar for an alibi. That's what I did when my wife said she had to find my iPhone on my phone. Chris Mayberry, thanks for the super chat. That was a joke, by the way. People couldn't get it.
Okay.
Paul Hurtado says, first
good.
super chat. Contact tracing. I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. Thomas Jefferson. Hear, hear.
Nice.
Christopher says, Lydia, they already do this on the highways in Florida. Cameras they use for sending you tickets in the mail for missing tolls and speeding with a nice picture of the driver, car, and plate, called the pay-by-plate system.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember that.
Chad T says, I'm okay with some of the trafficking, but the tracking, but not the trafficking, but some of the tracking, but only if I get a choice in it. Also, I think there should be oversight that is ran by Tim Pool and Joe Rogan. I wouldn't take the job. Professor Romandev says, just a reminder for everyone that the Donald.win was made after Commie Reddit effectively banned us from their website. We now have more monthly visitors than Huffington Post. What? Is that real? That's crazy.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, so Reddit quarantined, shut down, manipulated the algorithm so that the Donald subreddit wasn't getting any attraction. It was hard to find.
So they started their own site.
They made their own Reddit.
Wow.
It's basically a clone of Reddit called it's the Donald.win. That's the URL.
That's awesome.
And you'll see it's like they do their thing.
Good
now
for them.
Now they have their own version.
Yeah.
Well, that's Reddit's fault.
Dude, Reddit's going down.
Ashley says in Australia, they have cameras at key spots that read your number plate, act as a red light camera and speed cameras. You then get a fine in the post, mainly in South Australia. Wow, we have that here for the most part.
Similar.
But actually, in Arizona where I was living, they had them everywhere, and they had such a problem with so many people not caring and just blowing the lights and not showing up that it was costing them more money to go after the people than them making money from the fines that they took all the cameras down. It was pretty funny.
Wow, that sounds right. Yeah.
Oh man,
It's too much. Too much.
we're getting slammed with super chats, man. This is crazy. I can't even. We're trying to go fast, and I'm still getting way too many.
You're doing a great job. It's
we're
Friday.
good.
We're
Yeah,
good.
we're
Maybe we should go get a glass of whiskey.
Where are we at?
Hey, we're chilling.
Man, wow. Where are we at? Here we go.
I'm
Shadow
tempted.
STU says Vogue Tim Vogue, and that was a reference to me doing the TikTok dancing.
I can't wait to see that on
It's a
Twitter.
GIF already. I've seen it.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Yes!
It's already up there.
Thank you,
Excellent.
you, chat. That's for me. They
Made
did that
it
for me,
happen. That's
by
right,
the way.
I know, it's
Not anyone
amazing.
else. It was
Dude,
just me
it's
that
fantastic.
they did that for.
I love
Late
it.
Man says, if you ever feel like adding percussion to your musical repertoire, consider a bodhran. It's an Irish drum that doesn't take up as much space as a standard drum kit. In terms of playing it, I consider it similar to a guitar. Really?
Interesting.
cool.
But it's actually a physical drum, not an electric drum.
I don't know, I guess.
What is the name of it?
A bodhran?
Bodhran.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm going to check that out.
Kennedy says, what's up, guys? Just found your podcast Thursday and have been listening nonstop. Great content, Tim, Adam, and Lydia. Spin the UFO. There it is.
All right.
oh,
Don't
it's
mind if I
time.
do.
Ask and you shall receive.
Chris says, California resident was working 2 jobs before this hit, lost both and my insurance. Spent 2 months without pulling unemployment because I don't want to be coddled by CA. Started to after realizing the government directly shut down both. Brutal, man. Leo Araya, thanks for the super chat. Mr. Paul R says, it's muscle memory to close the chat on phone and smash the like button. Need Lydia on Harmony in jam time. Love y'all do. Keep it up. For sure. Michael says, keep it the awesome show. And what's your thought on the deergasm? Bahaha. We did a segment on it. People got mad at us.
I think
Got shower.
that represented my reaction there.
Yeah.
And I'll issue a correction. I said voyeurism, and I was correct. It's exhibitionist.
Yeah, exhibitionist.
Exhibitionist. People who like people watching them and seeing this weird,
Attention
Yep.
and weirdness.
Elias says, how about Denny's closing 15 restaurants in New York and laying off 500 plus employees? Ooh, wow.
Dang.
New York is done for, man.
Dude.
Yeah, it's going to be a different place.
They did it to themselves. Florida's fine. South Dakota's fine. Nato says, guys, I believe Trump getting elected plus COVID crisis has exposed the true philosophies of the left. Thoughts? What, that no matter what happens, they're opposed to whatever Trump does? Or
Yeah, maybe.
They just want more power.
basically all I can, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Canned TM. What is the right time to use Second Amendment? It's hard to wrap my mind around. It was written for standing against tyranny. We are under it and have experienced it. It's not just for home invasions. When is the time? I honestly don't know. I really don't. But I'm willing to bet that now that, Fauci's let open things up, we are seeing every state slowly reopen. There's going to be a bunch of lawsuits. And I think we're going to see a lot of people win.
Yeah.
I do. So I'm actually fairly confident. I'm feeling good. We'll see, though. Black Magic, spin the UFO or we riot. Also, it's my birthday. Can Lydia wish Black Magic a happy birthday?
Yeah, happy birthday, bro. Black Magic, you match my t-shirt. Love it.
That was a
now
happy birthday spin for
Yeah,
you.
that's right.
Now the UFO's spinning.
Perfect.
That was really
I
spinning.
wonder how many UFOs we've sold because it's become a thing.
Who knows?
Like, why did
The
we
company's
start
probably so
selling
happy.
so many?
I love it.
Kobe says, I'm new here. Chet is saying UFO. I don't know what that is, but spin UFO. You got
right.
it.
We just did
I will.
it. Oh, do it again. Oh, it's going to fall off.
No,
I'm
yeah,
scared.
you can't spin it too much.
Okay, done. Just a little bit. I mean, it was a super chat. I couldn't not do it.
That's fair.
Ophir and Kobe, thanks for becoming members.
Thank you.
What is this? B13SR says $10 to grab Tim's beanie.
Nope, not even 10.
You need to add a lot
I
more.
can't
than
reach
that.
Value
it.
my
I can't reach
life.
it. I can't reach it.
Gabrielle McLeod says unemployment fraud. Trudeau says, hold my beer. Our Canada government knows of actual fraud, told tax agency not to investigate or stop payments and continue to allow it.
Oh, jeez.
Gotta love Canada, man.
Yikes.
Great idea.
St. Miles says, Lids just got a mega thumbs up from me. Here's to you, Lydia.
Woohoo, thank you.
Mark Martinez says, GOP flip House seats in Wisconsin and CA and state local elections in PA and VA. Pattern or coincidence? Pattern. 538 said it was a sign of a blue wave if the Democrats won, the Republicans won, so by that logic, red
There's
wave.
going to be
What they specifically said was that if a party overperforms, it's a sign of a coming blue wave. So if the Democrats do well, the blue wave is coming. Well, the Republicans overperformed.
therefore.
If their logic is that overperformance equals wave, then red wave is coming. But what did they write the next, 2 days or a week later?
Blue waves coming.
Is a blue wave coming?
Yeah. Ooh,
It's like,
still
what
a
are
question.
you doing?
They're
No.
hoping.
I got this. No,
No?
it's not.
Yeah,
No.
I don't
What?
know.
Hey. Don't make
Speculation.
no hard
I'm
predictions.
speculating.
You're allowed to. You for sure.
It's a hard speculation, though.
Daroon says, book recommendations, Incarnations of Immortality by Piers Anthony. Laura says, this is just for Lydia. She just became the podcast darling.
Oh, thanks.
Just? She
Just
just
not. I don't
became?
know.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Pretty special.
She's been the podcast darling since we started. Come on.
Someone
have to
chatted
wear a beanie.
LidcastIRL.
Yeah, man.
Coming
That-
soon.
That gamer says, I have mixed feels. I want the lockdown to last longer, wanted to, here on Long Island, but I know if we do, it's just hurting us in the long term. How do you feel about it?
We gotta open up.
Well, I defer to Fauci. He's the expert, and he says, far be it
true.
for me to tell anybody, but if Dr. Fauci says we need to reopen, we're going to have to do it.
Yeah, I think we are going to have to do
Well,
it.
Fauci said it.
Yeah,
we
he
should.
said
We
it.
need to
I
open.
will defer to him.
Hip Hop says, need more open-minded women like Lydia.
Yeah, man.
Michael Coventry says, you guys are awesome. Can't wait till gym opens in Ontario. Dave says, move to Austin. Central Time is a good bridge between Eastern and Pacific Time. Property is cheaper, good airports, safe from natural disasters, and lots of food options for all of you.
Ooh.
Texas is cool.
It's a cool place.
Tim Farrow says, Tim, if you read this, my man, you're my number one source for news. I support one of your channels, and you've changed my view on social media. Keep it up. You are making a difference. I appreciate that.
Awesome.
I always recommend to watch other channels, too, for sure. Check out Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore is awesome. Keys says, when will we get a soy beanie dating site for those of us that are looking for like-minded mates? Love you guys. Love your guys' work. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I think those exist.
I'm
Yeah, I'm
sure
Like
pretty
it
sure.
like
does,
vegan
yeah.
dating sites. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
pretty sure they
I'm
exist.
sure.
I don't know.
There's one for farmers. There's
But
definitely one for vegans.
There's got to be a vegan dating site. I don't know.
This
Sorry,
one's for
I don't
you.
know the name of it though.
Ascendiate asks Adam, have you read other Brandon Sanderson books?
Yes, I have. I've read everything.
All of them.
All of them.
Just all of
Talk
them.
about a super
Anything he
fan.
writes, I read because it's good.
Oh,
He's
man.
that good.
Let's see. Where are we at?
Oh man, we lost him.
Rodo says, I social distance via boat in the middle of the, how do you pronounce that? Schuylkill?
The Schuylkill.
Schuylkill.
Cool.
Ah,
Oh.
Schuylkill.
Oh, yeah.
Yet get yelled at by a woman about wearing a mask. She ran to a bridge to stand 20 feet over me to yell down.
Oh, my gosh.
That's amazing. That's a Karen.
Philadelphia.
Karen.
T. Will says, Falun Gong is a cult that's anti-science and racial segregationist. And Epoch Times tends to espouse QAnon. Also, they're behind those Shen Yun shows. Remember, the enemy of my enemy is not my friend. I agree. I don't,
interesting.
so yeah, I don't know too much
I don't
about
know any of that.
Epoch Times. Crafty Work says, hey, Tim Pool, what do you think about having term limits on both the House and the Senate? And instead, every citizen has to serve like jury duty. Might help with corruption. I'm not entirely convinced. Demarchy sounds interesting. That's where it's randomly selected.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like jury duty. One
Right.
day you're like, oh, I got Congress duty. Ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And it's not term limits. It's just randomized. So you're like, you'll almost never serve a second term.
Yeah, there's something about that I like. It sounds cool, if done implemented correctly.
Ethan says, FYI, Tim, Sticks Hexenhammer 666, real name is Tarl Warwick.
What?
Thought you could use that info after your Biden fudge up video you did today. Oh, because I said Mr. Sticks? I know his real name.
Mr. Sticks.
Yeah, Tarl. He writes books.
Mr. Sticks is
Mr.
pretty funny
Sticks.
though.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Mr. Hexenhammer.
I like it.
Yeah.
Michael Coventry. It's also promoting, like giving you the name of his channel so you can go find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Coventry, thanks for the super chat. Says, here's another 20. Jay Shinsato says, aloha from Hawaii.
What
Is
up?
Is that from Hawaii? First, thank you for real reporting. Second, quarantine here is complicated. Some visitors tend to go uber Karen and ruin things. Breaking quarantine is a secondary issue compared to people without respect for our islands. Oh, definitely, man.
Yeah, bet.
Tourists. Jesse Clark says, thanks for all your work. Can you say, I told you so, Lady Devish? She will get a kick. Did I say it right?
Well, you said it, certainly.
Hey You says, do you think this election offers a chance to any third-party candidates given the circumstances? If so, who? And would you consider voting for them? I don't know. Yes, but for the left. Because the progressives have broken away from the Democrats, it's very likely we'll see a major left. There's another reason why I think Biden can't win. They're discounting the displeasure from progressives. And a lot of these progressives want Trump to win so they can say, I told you so.
Mm-hmm, true.
Some of them might even vote for Trump. A lot of them might just go out and vote for Green Party. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Joshua says, just jumped on us. Treat weapons as always loaded. Never point a weapon at anything you aren't willing to destroy. Keep your fingers straight and off the trigger until you intend to fire. Know your target and what lies beyond it.
Great
Boom.
rules.
Absolutely.
Those are the 4 rules.
Is that the 4 rules?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So important.
Smart. Makes sense.
Flood says, spin it. There are
All right.
34,644 Karens in a stelter. Oof.
Ooh.
Downskated says, if you're looking for a YouTuber in your local area that could explain gun laws very well, John Patton of the Gun Collective is in the Philly area. And T-Rex Arms video about Second A explains the history in English common law.
Cool.
Right on.
TJ Edwards 18 says, Joe Rogan podcast featuring Elon Musk, Alex Jones, and you would be awesome and hilarious. Throw Sticks Hexenhammer in there too, LOL.
Oh, for sure.
David says, hey, Adam, have you read read Name of the Wind? And do you think the 3rd book will come out this year? Or will that be another calamity of 2020?
He said that it's going to come out, so I did read it, and it was, I mean, we'll see.
Cool.
I don't know. COVID seems to be setting a lot of things back.
Definitely.
It wouldn't surprise me, but we can only hope.
Rick Hayes says the spark of the Revolutionary War was the Battle of Lexington and Concord, where the British marched to take the colonist guns and ammo. And there's actually the correct historical way to phrase it is that the regulars came to seize the colonists because they were all subjects of Britain until that started it. Noel Arcto says, Adam, ever read Brent Weeks' books?
Brent Weeks, yeah. Also a really good author.
This guy knows his authors.
I know sci-fi books. That's my jam.
Ethan Johansson says, I literally thought you didn't know his name. Sorry, man. I guess I didn't catch the joke. Yeah, well, Ario says, for books, I would recommend any of Jim Butcher's works. Codex Alera, Dresden Files, Aeronaut's Windlass. So you getting ready to jam?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to music mode now.
Sweet.
So we got to fix the audio. First, let's just jump over to
tech
jam.
work.
So actually, hold on. Before we do this, before we jump over, we still got a lot for you guys. Now we go into party mode, basically. So if you haven't already, you can follow me at Timcast. Follow me on Instagram, and you'll see skateboarding, travel stuff. I just post whatever. And you can follow me on Twitter as well, and that's where I usually complain about media, politics, usually political or something. Usually.
Yeah, always.
Not always. Sometimes I post weird things. And then you also have Mr. Adam, who's now over by the Jam Cam, but you can see
Invisible.
in the top left of the screen there at Adam Krigler.
Yep.
You can actually send him story suggestions and ideas. So that would be great. If you got any ideas, you want to talk to him, you want to share stuff you want on the show, you can follow him on Twitter, send him those things. Also follow him on Instagram for other, shenanigans. And make sure you hit the like button. If you haven't already, it really does help for some reason. Comments, we get your comments coming in. We're about to have a jam session. Adam will play a song. I'll play a song. Adam may play a lot more songs. I'll go to bed. Maybe Adam will hang out. We'll see what happens. So stick around. Adam's going to play some live music for you guys right now.
Sweet.
You ready, bro?
Get everything set up.
All right. Am I on?
You are on.
Well, I had to it's Friday night, and I was told by this rock star once, I was playing CBGBs, and they were going on before me, and they were like, "Oh, I got to go get some whiskey before I play." I was like, "Whiskey? What do you mean? You're about to go on?" And they're like, "Oh, no. Trust me. A little whiskey before you play."
Adam loves his whiskey.
I do. It's in my blood. I'm gonna play that song that you like.
Taking it back?
So this is called Taking It Back. I haven't played this one yet, so you guys don't know this one, but
If I was a younger man, I'd probably make the same mistake twice. The closer the heart is, the harder it becomes to do what's right. Even through the thick and thin, secretly we want to win. Well, I'm taking it back, taking it back, taking it back. It's time to confess all sins. Whoa, before this world you've built crumbles away. I've spent some time lost in my mind, disappointed. Well, that's just the sting from expecting, and that's what you get. Oh, it's a simple sacrifice. Drop a little bit of pride. I know it's exhausting. Oh, I'm taking it back, taking it back, taking it back. It's time to find me. Whoa, before this world I've built crumbles away. It started with cold feet, let me begin again. Hindsight's obviously the clearest option. I'm taking it back with all that I believe in. Everything happens, I won't fight the reason. You say you've learned from your mistakes that you're experienced. And then comes the day from left field, as they say, has left you in a daze. Oh, it happens all the time. A high tide of the mind, struggling for oxygen. Is the only option. Oh, before the world you've built crumbles away. It started with cold feet, let me begin again. Hindsight's obviously the clearest option. I'm taking it back with all that I believe in. Everything happens, I won't fight the reasons. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Tim, you want to play one?
Maybe. I'll play something bad.
He's walking over. He's going to play something.
I don't know where to sit, though. Let me,
right there.
Well, let me flip this.
That's good.
I know. I'm gonna flip this. I'm gonna play some music.
Cheers, everyone. Happy Friday.
Now, the important thing y'all need to know is that I woke up at 7 a.m., recorded. Now, what are we going on? 4 hours worth of content. And now y'all want me to sing some songs. Yes. But you know, it's Friday. It's Friday, right? That's what we're doing. I'm going to try and play this song that's like... I'm going to try and play this song for you guys. I don't know if I'll be able to do it.
Just do it.
Out on the march in the morning, he called his soldiers down to take aim at the traitors, to gun those rebels down. Now they'll face the consequences. They held themselves above. This is the will of the people, he said. I wish I could spare them, make them see the path. Tell
tempting as that sounds, I'll have to pass. I know what's needed for the good of my people, to save them. Out in the dark, without warning, he raised his fist above, led a cry to his people to tear those statues down. Now they'll face the consequences. They held themselves above. This is the will of the people, he said. I wish I could spare them, make them see the path. Tempting as that sounds, I'll have to pass. I know what's needed for the good of my people, to save them. Now drop your arms and march for them. Face the wall and bow your head. If you have any last words, let them be said. Out on the march in the morning, he called his comrades down to take aim at the traitors, to gun those fascists down. Now they'll face the consequences. They held themselves above. This is the will of the people, he said. I wish I could spare them, make them see the path. Blessed were those days we held in vain. I'd give it up for a chance of redemption as the cycle turns again. You've seen it before, now you'll see it begin. But hate begets hate, the violence turns again. If you think it ends here, wait, my friend.
What's the name of that song?
Will of the People.
People were wondering what the name of that song was.
That song is called The Will of the People. You need to play more?
Yeah, I'll play one more. I haven't finger picked a song. I'm gonna do that. So that was Will of the People. I love that song. I've listened to a lot of his songs before, and that's one of my favorites of his. This is called She's Just.
It's just gone too far, she said, as she took another drink at the bar. And to tell you what the truth is, I just never knew when to start. I never knew when to start. She was sitting in the corner, trying to pick up her pride. They didn't disown her. Oh, but she wished that they had tried. Been gone 3 summers, made all the difference in the world. At least 10 years older in her mind, but but that's alright. Moved to California, out to live that Western dream, but her Eastern persona wouldn't ever, ever let her be. She always ended missing home. She always ended missing home. Missing home. So many before her, she's just another face in the crowd. Well, it's becoming clearer to her, but she's not ready right now. Well, she's not ready to go, and tensions grew bolder. Impatience picked up steam. Too many people told her, you have to stay and take what's in your reach. I won't just stand here watching all my plans fall through, 'cause I've discovered it's all about the time I use. Moved to California, out to live that Western dream, but her Eastern persona wouldn't ever, ever let her be. She always ended missing home. She always ended missing home. Missing home. So maybe it's just gone too far, she said, as she took another drink at the bar.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. I don't know if I think I'm done. I mean, it's I love playing music. It feels great to play for people again. So thanks for staying around and listening to us play. It's gonna be a normal thing on Fridays. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's gonna get a lot better.
Jump back over
because we are going to. Let me fix the audio mixing real quick.
Fixing the audio.
To the best of my abilities, I suppose.
Need some hold music. There you go.
We are going to be adding instruments. We got a mixer, and this is actually a little bit preliminary. One of the reasons we moved up to the bigger space from the previous space was because we want to actually have like guests, man. You know, jam sessions. We could probably even have like some comedy stuff too.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah,
that would be fun.
Be fun to get someone to come out and do a few minutes of like jokes or whatever. So that space that we have is just temporary. It's just where we hung the guitars. It's actually like a lounge space for guests when they show up. We actually have an area we're putting together where it's going to be like an actual stool, drum kit, and stuff. And we're working on it, so it's going to be
it's going to be fun.
Good time.
A heckin' good time.
Heckin' good time.
That's funny.
Yep. So thanks to everybody for the super chats.
Yeah.
Should we get to bed? I guess.
I mean, I see a bunch of new super chats. I mean, I feel like
it is. You know, it's just a lot of people saying Adam is awesome. You know,
and
Adam, you're the best.
How awesome Tim is.
Aww.
And his music is great.
No, so but yeah. So
I love you guys. You guys are so great. I mean, they paid money to tell us how good we are.
Well,
at least we can do is read it.
Read compliments about like Tim, you're great. Okay, here
Yeah,
you go.
I seriously though, thanks for everybody for hanging out and listening to us play. It's really great.
Yeah, I've been playing music since I was. I started playing drums when I was 7.
Wow, I didn't even know.
Yeah,
that long. Wow.
Since I was 7, I started playing guitar when I was 12, and I've been writing music the entire time.
Right.
I started skateboarding when I was just about to turn 14, so I was 13.
Man.
And doing that.
It shows.
Yeah. You know what? I am lucky. Oh, you know why I'm lucky?
Yeah.
My mom homeschooled me before kindergarten.
Okay.
And so I had.
You were ready to go.
As you know, as for being someone from the South Side of Chicago, one of the few people who had parents who were like, get the kids to do something.
Yeah.
But also, it's just part of who I am, you know? I think
true.
being the youngest in my
you're
family.
A go-getter.
Wanting to skate, wanting to just do better, wanting to solve problems.
Level up.
Yeah, so I play, we have that song I played. I wonder how many of you understood exactly what it was about.
It's a good
the song is The Will of the People. I recorded a scratch version. It's the one we're going to put out, that I'm going to put out first, probably.
That's the one that he wants animation for.
Yeah, so I've actually talked to some people, And I'll tell you all. I will reveal the secret behind this song and the plans for the animation. The first verse is out on the march in the morning. He called his soldiers down to gun down the rebels, to gun those traitors down or whatever. It's basically the dictator comes out. He points. He says, take out the activists. You see the soldiers break into the house. There's protest posters. They arrest the activists, beat them and then black bag them and drag them away while a kid is hiding under the bed crying, watching it all happening. Then you see the kid's face turn into a young adult, and then he pulls a mask up. Then he raises a fist, and a bunch of people run forward and then knock down statues of the dictator. And then the first bridge part is where they're executing all of the former regime. But then the final verse, this young man's face now morphs into an older man who puts on the military cap and then calls his soldier down to take out the activists, because that's why the song is called "The Will of the People." Every single time something bad happens where they think they have a right to suppress the people, they have the right to kill the fascists or whatever, it's always about the people have willed it so. That's what everyone thinks.
Yeah.
God is on my side or whatever. And so that's what the animation is basically going to be. That's what we're working on.
That's a good song. That's a good song.
It'll be great with like full music and stuff.
Every time I hear it, it's in my head for a few days. It's like, it's good.
And so,
I mean, I'm not upset. It's a good song, so, but
I just wanted to get that real visceral feeling. It's like where you see the end, the last verse is like the reveal in the video.
Yeah.
Where it's like this revolutionary. Then it's like his face changes, and then he puts on the same general's hat.
Yeah.
And then he
it's
calls
such
the
good
soldiers
imagery.
out.
Yeah, I love it.
They break into the same house. Then there's like a little girl hiding under the bed crying, watching it happening.
Yeah.
And then it ends with like kind of a flash of like it just keeps happening over and over again. Never ends.
It's great.
That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
So I guess we'll wrap things up. If you managed to hang out this long, you must be big fans of the show. So you already know, like, share, subscribe, follow everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
We'll be back Monday
You guys are
at
awesome.
8 p.m.
Eastern
live.
time.
Eastern time. And
Right.
Again, make sure to follow at Adam Krigler.
Yep. Follow me up.
At Sour Patch Lids, LYDS.
Follow Lydia.
And at Timcast. We'll
There
see
it
you
is.
all.
Yep.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Okay. Wait. Tim's saying goodbye. Goodbye,
We'll
everyone.
see you all next time, everybody.
Have a good weekend.